Your ponytail looks really nice. Where did you get the hair tie? Chen Lu strode over to Zhao Tongtong and poked her high ponytail to start a conversation. Zhao Tongtong was caught off guard by the sudden comment, but quickly recovered and touched her ponytail. This? I didn't buy it. My sister did it for me. She said I look more energetic with a ponytail than with my hair down. Your sister's really skilled. Why doesn't she wear her hair tied up then? Chen Lu praised sincerely and glanced at Zhao Zhejia's long, loose hair over her shoulders. She says she looks better with her hair down. I think she'd look nice in a ponytail too, but she won't listen. Zhao Tongtong replied earnestly. At that moment, Zhao Zhejia greeted Chen Lu in her usual gentle voice. You're Chen Lu, right? I just heard your teammates call you Lulu. Yep, just call me Lulu. Chen Lu answered openly. Since these might be her future teammates, a casual nickname felt fine. Then I'll call you Lulu. You seem younger than me. Zhao Zhejia smiled. I'm 18. How about you two? Chen Lu gave her age straightforwardly. My sister and I are both 19. We're twins, so we're the same age. I was born 3 minutes later, so I'm the younger sister. Zhao Tongtong cut in eagerly. It was clear she had hit it off with Chen Lu. Just 3 minutes late, and you end up the little sister. That's kind of unfair. Chen Lu blinked in sympathy. My sister even makes jokes about it, saying I was just slow coming out, and it's all my fault. Zhao Tongtong complained indignantly. Tongtong. Zhao Zhejia's cheeks flushed slightly, obviously not expecting her sister to bring up such private family banter in front of others. Chen Lu burst out laughing at the sisters' exchange. You two have such a close bond. I'm an only child, so I never even had anyone to bicker with growing up. Once she stopped laughing, her tone held a hint of envy. What's so great about being an only child? My sister's always on my case, telling me what I can't eat or do. Even as she grumbled, Zhao Tongtong moved closer to her sister. If I didn't keep an eye on you, you'd get yourself into all sorts of trouble. Zhao Zhejia tapped her sister's forehead, her tone full of fond exasperation. That's not true. I'm plenty capable. My lightning skill can take down enemies, even if it's not as strong as my sister's healing ability. Zhao Tongtong held up her hand, tiny crackling arcs of lightning dancing across her fingertips to prove her point. All right, you're the most powerful. Zhao Zhejia shook her head with a soft smile. Chen Lu watched their interaction, unable to keep the smile off her face. Suddenly she remembered something and asked curiously, by the way, why is your train called Alliance? Is there some special story behind the name? Zhao Tongtong lit up immediately at the question. It's quite a story. At the very beginning, there were 12 people aboard Alliance. Brother Zhao got the A, rank skill rock body, and thought he was unbeatable. Brother Lu also drew the A, rank skill swift steps, and thought no one could stand against him. Neither would back down, and they almost fought right there on the train. Zhao Tongtong gestured wildly as she spoke, mimicking the two men's stubborn stand-off. Zhao Xingli and Lu Wan, standing a short way behind, looked away awkwardly. What happened next? Chen Lu listened intently, her big eyes fixed on Zhao Tongtong. Well, they decided to form a temporary alliance, and that's how the train got its name Alliance. Zhao Tongtong paused here, her smile fading, and her voice turned somber. After that, 12 of us dwindled down to 8. But Brother Zhao and Brother Lu grew closer through countless battles side by side. They don't clash like that anymore, yet the name Alliance stuck, so we kept it. Chen Lu listened to the story of Alliance, genuine emotion shining in her eyes. It says a lot how much you trust one another in this train game. That's really rare. I'm curious about your family train too. Why is it named Family? Zhao Tongtong fired the question back. As soon as the words left her mouth, Zhao Zhejia pricked up her ears. Both plain curiosity and the need for intelligence about the rival train made her pay close attention. It was not just the two sisters. Every member of Alliance further down the hall slowed their pace and listened carefully. Fangya even inched half a step forward, afraid of missing a single detail. Even the 3 members of Hunter, who had kept their heads down while walking, lifted their gazes. Their eyes glinted faintly in the dim corridor. Sun Jack, scouting at the very front, extended his shadow a little more slowly than before. He was clearly waiting for the answer as well. Lin Mu, positioned in the middle of the group, inwardly groaned. He knew Chen Lu all too well. If she answered freely, there was no telling what she might blurt out. Ahem. Lin Mu gave a quiet cough, shooting Chen Lu a pointed look audible only to those nearby. The message was plain, don't say anything reckless. But Chen Lu pretended not to notice. Not only did she ignore his warning, she puffed out her chest, cleared her throat, and struck a dramatic pose. Well, that's a long story. Chen Lu folded her hands behind her back, the hem of her pleated skirt swaying as she tilted her head. Actually, Family wasn't our original choice for a name. Then what were you going to call it? Zhao Tongtong asked innocently. Harem squad. Chen Lu stated the two words with a completely straight face. 3 full seconds of dead silence fell over the corridor. Zhao Tongtong blinked once, then again. Her eyes, identical in shape to her sister's, went wide as saucers. Harem squad. You people? You. Her voice rose involuntarily, gaze darting rapidly between Lin Mu and Chen Lu. Her eyes swept over the calm Su Qingli and the amused Wan Wantong beside them, and she froze completely where she stood. The live stream comments section exploded. Harem squad. Did I hear that right? What did Lulu just say? Harem squad. Wait a second. Hold on. Does that mean all the girls on that train belong to that one guy? No way. Absolutely impossible. How could our fairy Su belong to someone's harem? This has to be a joke. Lulu, tell me you're just messing around. This joke is not funny at all. Please say you're joking. Oh my god, Su Qingli. The nation's beloved fairy Su. How could she be part of someone's harem? This is worse than anything I could imagine. I refuse to believe it. Not until fairy Su says it herself. But look at Su Qingli's face. She isn't denying it at all. And that lady in black stockings, she's smiling so softly and indulgently. That's not how regular teammates look at each other. Remember earlier when Lulu acted all playful toward that guy, grabbing his arm and sitting close beside him? Normal teammates don't act that intimate. My heart is broken. 3 of my favorite girls, Lulu, Fairy Su, and that elegant lady, all close with the same man. Did Lin Mu save the whole galaxy in his past life? What did he do to deserve this? Right. What gives? He's good, looking and powerful, sure, but 3 incredible women all gravitating toward him. I'm so jealous. I'm practically a walking lemon. Are all of you close to him? Zhao Tongtong managed to get the question out, her voice trembling from shock. Yeah, we're all very close with Senior. Chen Lu planted her hands firmly on her hips and nodded without hesitation. She glanced over her shoulder towards Su Qingli and Wan Wantong. Sister Su, Teacher Wan, isn't that right? Su Qingli kept her usual cool, aloof expression and did not reply. She simply turned her head slightly away. If one looked closely, however, soft pink tinted her delicate cheeks. Wan Wantong adjusted her glasses. Behind the lenses, amusement mixed with helplessness flickered across her eyes. She neither confirmed nor denied, yet her silent reaction spoke volumes. Chen Lu, that's enough. Lin Mu finally spoke, his tone tight with exasperation. Oh, Senior doesn't want me to keep talking. Chen Lu turned back toward Zhao Tongtong and spread her hands. I still think it's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's just how things are. She shrugged, her twin, tails bouncing against her shoulders. Lin Mu could take no more. He reached out, caught one of her twin tails firmly, and pulled her gently toward him. The pull was not harsh, yet it made Chen Lu stumble a step sideways. Hey, easy, Senior. Chen Lu tilted her head along with the tug, still arguing playfully. The corridor fell into another strange hush. The comments section went completely wild. Twin, tails as a handle? Lulu's whole personality just flipped. Where did that tough, fearless fighter go? When did anyone think Lulu was cold and distant? She's always been bold and playful. This interaction is so intense. I can't look at her twin tails normally anymore. Lin Mu, you brute. Let go of her hair. Calm down, you couldn't beat Lin Mu. You probably couldn't even beat Chen Lu. I don't care. I challenge Lin Mu to a duel. Winner gets to handle those twin tails. You can't even beat Sun Jack. Lin Mu hasn't even seriously fought yet. Think twice. Poor Lulu. How did she end up so wrapped around his finger? Thinking about it, it makes sense. For someone as strong as Lulu to be so comfortable around him, he has to be far more powerful. And Lin Mu clearly outmatches her. And it isn't just Lulu. Fairy Su and that elegant lady too. What kind of magnetism does this man possess? Lin Mu is now my sworn enemy. Wake up. He doesn't even know you exist. Lin Mu held on to Chen Lu's hair, staring at the girl who kept saying increasingly outrageous things, completely at a loss. You keep making this more absurd. His voice carried deep weariness. How is it absurd? I'm only telling the truth. Chen Lu tilted her head and blinked, mischief sparkling in her bright eyes. Zhao Tongtong stood frozen, her mouth opening and closing repeatedly without forming words. She looked at Chen Lu, stumbling yet seemingly unbothered with her hair being held, then at the reserved Su Qingli, then Wan Wantong behind her glasses. Finally her gaze landed on Lin Mu, frustrated yet undeniably lenient toward the 3 women. Her entire understanding of the world had just been upended. Sister. Zhao Tongtong turned toward Zhao Jiejia, eyes begging for an explanation, for proof she was not hallucinating. Zhao Jiejia was equally stunned. The twin sisters locked eyes, seeing identical bewilderment mirrored in each other's faces. Behind them, Zhao Xingli gave a forceful cough, his rough features showing utter confusion. He opened his mouth, hoping to break the awkward silence, yet found nothing he could possibly say. Fanya clapped a hand over her mouth, her eyes crinkling with barely suppressed laughter. Her shoulders shook. A teammate elbowed her sharply, and she barely managed to hold her giggles in. The three surviving members of Hunter wore an assortment of shocked expressions. One stood gaping. Another rubbed his eyes hard, convinced he was dreaming. One glanced secretly at Sun Jack ahead, feeling a strange sense of relief. Following Sun Jack was brutal, but at least they never had to witness such bewildering personal dynamics. Sun Jack, at the front, had the most complicated feelings of all. He could not even defeat one member of this group, and it stung deeply. The corridor stretched onward. Overhead strip lights flickered on and off, casting shifting long and short shadows across the floor. After roughly 10 minutes of walking, the corridor opened abruptly into an intersection, for passageways branched off in separate directions. Faint characters were still visible on the wall signs. Straight ahead, the sign read Main Control Center in the largest font, marking the station's core zone. Left led to the Ecology Bay. Right led to the Power Bay. The path they had come from was labeled Docking Area. 4 directions. Which way do we go? Sun Jack spun around, his gaze landing straight on Lin Mu. He tried to keep his tone level, yet suppressed frustration lingered in his voice. The number, 1 train captain of Sector 17, the full, 100-stat powerhouse who normally gave everyone else orders, was now asking for another man's judgment. The live stream comments flared up again. Wow, Sun Jack is actually asking for advice. The world must be ending, wouldn't you? You saw what Su Qingli can do with her sword. How the mighty have fallen, Sun Jack. Ignoring the online mockery aimed at Sun Jack, Lin Mu's gaze swept across the 3 branching paths before settling on the corridor leading straight toward Main Control Center. Main Control is the heart of this space station. If we can reach it, we might find a way to repair the station. Wan Wantong stepped to Lin Mu's side and pushed up her glasses as she analyzed. But the beings of Moko civilization must know that too. They will almost certainly hold this key route and lie in ambush for us. That magma giant was only a test. The real trap is likely waiting further ahead. Luwen added from the rear. Then we head for Main Control. Lin Mu did not hesitate, pointing toward the passage straight ahead. Whether we want to repair the station or confront the Moko forces head on, Main Control is our most direct path. Rather than splitting up down side passages, we press forward as one unit straight to the core. Strike right at the heart. I like that. Zhao Xingli grinned, genuine admiration on his rugged face. Let's move. Sun Jack wasted no words and started down the corridor toward Main Control. Just then, Su Qingli's ears twitched slightly. Watch out. Her warning had barely left her lips when disaster struck. The walls on both sides of the passage split open. Or rather, things hidden inside the walls burst outward. 2 tall, slender metallic figures emerged, their bodies plated in scale, like armor glinting with cold light. Narrow slits of glowing red served as their eyes, no pupils visible, only solid crimson radiance. The instant they emerged, clawed limbs sliced straight for Sun Jack. They moved impossibly fast. Most of the group only caught metallic blurs, the air screaming as the claws tore through it. Sun Jack's pupils constricted. He reacted instantly, activating shadow stealth the moment danger registered. Yet the attackers were too quick for him to vanish fully into shadow. He made a desperate split, second choice. He grabbed one of his own hunter teammates behind him and hurled the man directly into the path of the slashing claws. The teammate had no time even to scream, for sharp claws pierced his body mid-air. Blood and fragments of flesh splattered across the walls and floor with sickening wet smacks. The comment section erupted in outrage. What a monster. That was his own man. He just threw him out as bait. I already knew Sun Jack was ruthless, but seeing this is horrifying. That kid didn't deserve to die like this. How can someone call himself a captain and sacrifice his own crew like that? The remaining hunter members must be terrified. I'd rather die fighting the Moko creatures than get betrayed by my own leader. Sun Jack did not spare a single glance for the man he had sacrificed. Shadow swallowed his form. He reappeared further back in the corridor, close beside Lin Mu. His chest heaved from the near miss, yet a relieved smile tugged at his face. To him, that fallen teammate had been nothing more than disposable bait. Of the 2 remaining hunter members, one froze rigid with terror, unable to move a muscle. The other scrambled backward in panic, yet he could not outrun the charging metallic monsters. Help! Somebody help me! He cried out in utter despair. No one could save him. Both metallic creatures pounced. Their claws sliced through his body, tearing him apart. His head rolled across the ground, eyes wide and frozen in final terror. The last hunter member, still paralyzed where he stood, was run through the chest by monster claws the very next second. In only a few short breaths, all 3 members of Hunter lay dead. The online audience was too stunned for further angry spamming. 3 people, 3 lives, gone just like that. How does Son Jack sleep at night? Probably doesn't have a conscience. Hunter now has only Son Jack left, all alone. This is what happens when you follow the wrong captain. Lin Mu and Zhao Xingli would never throw their own teammates to their deaths. Son Jack was probably still counting his blessings, glad he'd reacted fast, and that someone else had died instead of him. Yet the threat ahead in the tunnel was far from over. Almost at the same moment, movement echoed from the passage behind them. A massive boulder broke loose from the ceiling, warping and swelling mid-air. When it crashed down, it had transformed into a rock giant over 2 meters tall. Unlike the magma giant Su Qingli had slain with one sword strike earlier, this rock giant was slightly smaller. Its surface gleamed like obsidian, making it look far tougher than its magma counterpart. Earthling die. The rock giant roared, bringing its millstone-sized fists crashing down on the Alliance unit, bringing up the rear. Zhao Victory reacted first. Gritting his teeth, he ignored Zhao Zhejia's earlier warning not to unleash his full power. Rock-like armor instantly covered his body, and he crossed his arms to stand at the very front of the group. Boom. Fist collided with rock armor in a deafening explosion. Zhao Victory's feet plowed 2 deep gouges across the metal floor. He was driven back a full 3 meters, yet he had blocked the blow. I told you, you'll have to get past me if you want us dead. Zhao Victory ground out through clenched teeth. Cracks spiderwebbed across the rock armor on his arms, but his feet did not give another inch. At the same time, Luwen activated Wind Step. His figure flickered around the rock giant. His 2 daggers targeted the gaps between the giant's rock joints. Each strike only left faint marks on the obsidian hard surface. Yet it was enough to hamper the giant, stopping it from focusing all its strength on Zhao Victory. The rest of the Alliance team moved as one. Fangya tossed 2 flashbang grenades from the side. Blinding light burst before the giant's eyes, robbing it of sight for a moment. 2 other team members flanked it from behind, one striking its left knee joint and the other its right, working in perfect coordination. Aim for the knees. The knee joints are its weakest spot, Luwen shouted, dodging the giant's counterattacks. Further ahead in the corridor, far more than 2 metallic monsters burst out from the walls. One after another, lanky figures clad in metallic scales kept emerging. Their numbers swelled, surpassing 10 in the blink of an eye. Add the rock giant holding back the Alliance team at the rear, and the Moko civilization had sent at least a dozen combatants in this assault. If Lin Mu's guess was right, this might not be every fighter from their 3 trains, but it was most of them. These Moko warriors came in all shapes and forms. Some were the lanky scaled assassins they had fought before. Others were rock giants. One human-shaped being burned with living flame, leaving charred footprints on the metal floor with every step it took. So these are the Earthlings. The flaming humanoid folded its arms. Eyes made of fire swept over everyone in the corridor, thick with contempt. They are nothing special, barely better than the trash we have fought before. Do not grow complacent. Kyle was killed by them, one lanky scaled figure warned, though its voice held little real alarm. Kyle was an idiot. I told him not to charge in alone, yet he rushed forward and got cut down by a single sword strike. He brought shame on our entire civilization. The flaming humanoid scoffed. A finger of flame pointed towards Su Qingli. That woman is mine. I would like to see if her sword can cut through fire. The one who can melt into shadows is for me. A lanky metallic assassin crouched on the ceiling, licking blood off its claws. Its red slit eyes locked onto Son Jack. He runs fast, but I enjoy hunting prey that flees. The rest can be divided among us. They are all trivial foes, hardly worth picking over, the rock giant rumbled. Its millstone-sized fists slammed together with a dull thud. The Moko warriors spoke over one another, dividing up the people present as though carving up meat. Arrogance and disdain dripped from every word, as if in their eyes the Earthlings were already helpless prey laid out on a cutting board. At this point, the livestream comments section erupted with tension. More than a dozen. The Moko civilization has thrown nearly all their forces at us. Every fighter from their 3 trains. This is going to be a decisive battle. We're done for. That fire creature is targeting Fairy Sue. Can she beat it? Son Jack has been marked too, but he deserves it. Let him fight his own battles. The Alliance only has to deal with one rock giant. They should be able to hold on, right? Where is the family ship? Why hasn't Lin Mu acted yet? How much longer is he going to wait? I'm going to give the alliance backup. Wan Wantong pushed her glasses up her nose, watching the alliance members locked in combat with the rock giant behind them. Blood streamed down Zhao Victory's arms, yet he still stood firm against the giant's fists. Lu Wen's wind step was starting to falter. His speed had noticeably dropped. The remaining team members fought in coordination, yet their blows barely dented the obsidian hard rock plating. Go, Lin Mu nodded. Wan Wantong turned and headed toward the rear. She moved with calm composure, the cuffs of her white shirt rolled up to her forearms. She curved her index finger, holding it like the barrel of a pistol. When she drew within 20 meters of the rock giant, she pointed her finger. An air bullet shot from her fingertip, striking the giant's right knee joint with pinpoint accuracy. Boom. The air in the entire corridor shuddered violently. A fist-sized hole blew open in the obsidian rock plating. Cracks spread outward from the wound, and the giant's entire right leg shook. The rock giant let out a pained roar. Its massive form swayed, forced to pull back the fist aimed at Zhao Victory and cup its injured knee. Long-range attack. Eliminate that woman first, the rock giant shouted toward its allies ahead. Yet Wan Wantong's second air bullet was already on its way. This one hit the left knee joint. Another dull detonation, another blast crater, more spreading cracks. Both of the rock giant's legs were crippled. Its enormous frame could no longer support its weight, and it dropped heavily to one knee. Perfect. Seizing the opening, Zhao Victory drove his rock-reinforced fist straight into the giant's chin. At the same time, Lu Wen drove his dagger deep into the joint gap at the giant's neck. This time the blade did not merely scratch the surface, it sank all the way into the rock. Further ahead, full-scale melee erupted. The flaming humanoid struck first. It turned into a pillar of fire and charged straight for Su Qingli. The metal floor glowed red-hot in its wake. The corridor walls warped under licking flames. Su Qingli did not so much as blink. Her iron sword sang with a clear ring. Silvery white sword energy swirled along its blade, and she swung. Sword energy tore through the air. The sword energy Su Qingli unleashed this time was far more condensed than the blow that had slain the magma giant. It passed clean through the flaming humanoid's chest, piercing its fire form and its energy core before bursting out its back. The flaming humanoid's forward charge ground to an abrupt halt. It stared down at its chest. Then its whole body began to disintegrate. Flames faded layer by layer. Shattered fragments of its energy core scattered across the scorched metal floor, leaving nothing but a small pile of ashes. It had not even managed to scream. The livestream comments exploded all over again. Am I seeing things? What just happened? One strike. Another single blow from Fairy Su. She really is a sword immortal. This is terrifying. That fire creature wanted a one-on-one duel and couldn't even survive a single attack. Yu Yan? No. The rock giant roared in rage. Smoke curled from its damaged legs as it slammed its fist against the floor, shaking the whole corridor. You earthling bugs. I will crush every last one of you to pulp. Yu Yan fell that easily? Perhaps Kyle's death was no disgrace after all. This earthling is dangerous. The metallic assassin jumped down from the ceiling. Its red slit eyes locked hard on Su Qingli, the earlier arrogance finally gone from its tone. Enough talk. Attack together, another scaled metallic warrior shouted, lunging straight for Su Qingli. But Su Qingli was no longer where she had stood. She rose gracefully aloft, standing upon her flying sword. The scaled warrior darted beneath her flowing skirt, its claws tearing deep gashes into the wall. Trying to run, the metallic assassin leaped after her, yet every slash narrowly missed as Su Qingli evaded with effortless lightness. Su Qingli understood her own strengths and weaknesses. Her one-hit kills looked effortless, but they came from her high mental power stacked with her S-rank talent. Apart from mental power, her strength, agility, and physique were all only at level 10. Level, LV.10 strength, 24 agility, 25 physique, 26 mental power, 155. These were her base stats. She excelled at launching sword energy from a distance. Up close, against these monsters, her mere 20s rank base attributes would leave her nearly defenseless. That was why she relied on her flying sword to keep dodging. To outside observers, though, she soared up and down atop her sword, her sleeves and long hair billowing in the air. She looked every bit the celestial maiden, far from appearing desperate. Her aura only grew more imposing. Down on the ground, the scaled metallic warriors split into groups. Some pounced on Sun Jack. Others charged toward Lin Mu and Chen Lu. Several more tried to circle around the flank to assault the alliance unit at the rear. Chen Lu stood guard before Zhao Jia and Zhao Tongtong, machete held firmly across her chest. Her large eyes showed no trace of fear. Two metallic warriors leaped toward her at once. The first brought its claw slashing diagonally down toward her left shoulder. The second swept in sideways, aiming for her waist. Their teamwork was seamless, blocking off every possible direction for her to dodge. Qianlu did not dodge. Gripping her machete with both hands, she met the first warrior's claw head-on. Clang! Machete struck metal claw, sending showers of sparks flying. The metallic warrior felt overwhelming force surge back through its limb. Its whole arm went numb, and a crack split the joint connecting claw to forearm. The second warrior's horizontal strike was already closing in on her waist. Without even glancing sideways, Qianlu swung her machete backward. Clang! Another shrill crash of metal on metal. That metallic warrior's claw was deflected aside. The recoil sent its whole body staggering sideways 2 steps. The two warriors steadied themselves. They no longer rushed forward. Their red-slit eyes fixed hard on the twin-tailed girl, reassessing her threat. This earthling possesses immense strength. The warrior on the left shook its tingling arm, its voice edged with wariness. Her speed and reflexes are also exceptional. Do not fight her alone. Strike together, warned the warrior on the right, its prior disdain gone. The two attacked once more. This time their strikes were faster and trickier. For claws assailed her from different angles, each swing cutting sharp whistles through the air. Qianlu stood her ground without retreating a single step. She whirled her machete, clashing head-on against the two metallic assassins. Every impact rang out with harsh metallic noise. Every collision scattered bursts of sparks between blade and claw. Girl and monsters fought fiercely in the narrow corridor. The constant din of metal striking metal sounded like rain hammering against window panes. Zhao Tongtong huddled behind her older sister, staring at the twin-tailed figure in her pleated skirt trading blows with two metallic warriors. Her eyes grew wider and wider. Sister Lu is amazing. Her voice trembled with awe. She had started calling her sister Lu without thinking. She had read the livestream comments claiming Qianlu had single-handedly cleared the Godslayer ship. She had thought it impressive, but had not witnessed it for herself. Now watching Qianlu hold her own, even gain the upper hand against two foes, the raw spectacle hit far harder than any written description. Sis, did you see? Sister Lu is fighting two of them by herself. Zhao Tongtong tugged hard at her sister's sleeve, brimming with admiration. I saw. Zhao Jiajia's gaze stayed fixed on Qianlu, her tone laced with complex emotion. Sister Lu is awesome. From now on I'm calling you Sister Lu too. You are incredible. Zhao Tongtong shouted toward Qianlu, voice full of genuine admiration. Mid-combat, Qianlu heard her. She spared a quick grin in Zhao Tongtong's direction, her twin tails whipping through the air as she twisted to evade an attack. Now you believe me? Sounds like you didn't think I was all that earlier. I was blind to how strong you are. From today onward, you are my #1 idol forever. Zhao Tongtong pressed her hands together earnestly. She was actually a year older than Qianlu, yet she spoke the title without the slightest hesitation, just as she had called Zhao Jiajia her older sister for years. Not far away, Sun Jack was locked in combat with one metallic warrior. His shadow stealth made his movements hard to track. Every time the warrior's claws struck, they only tore through dissipating wisps of shadow. Yet part of his attention drifted away from his own opponent. His peripheral vision kept drifting toward Qianlu. He watched the twin-tailed girl fight two metallic assassins head-on. Every strike of her blade cracked their claws. Every dodge perfectly kept her out of harm's way. Sun Jack grew increasingly alarmed. Her strength, speed, and reaction time were no weaker than his own. No, Sun Jack suddenly realized something. Qianlu had not used any special abilities so far. She fought purely with her base stats. To perform like that with raw base attributes meant her total stat points were at least as high as his own 100+ all-round points. Possibly even higher. No wonder she had been so bold toward him earlier. At that moment, the two metallic warriors fighting Qianlu changed tactics. They abandoned head-on clashes and began using their superior speed to circle. One feinted from the front to draw her focus, while the other snuck in to strike from behind. Trapped between two fronts, Qianlu gradually found her swordplay being pushed onto the defensive. Earthling, you are strong, yet it is still not enough. The frontside warrior lunged again, its claws swinging down with full force, aiming to knock her machete out of her grasp. Qianlu parried the blow. The second assassin seized the opening, its claw stabbing straight for her back. Sister Lu, look out! Zhao Tongtong screamed. A flicker of impatience crossed Qianlu's big eyes. Fine, I'm done holding back. Time to get serious. She spoke softly. Ghost aura activated. Cold, eerie power welled up from within her. Her 104 strength surged instantly to 156. 96 agility rocketed to 144. 100 physique rose to 150. In that instant, Chen Lu's whole aura transformed. She spun backward, her blade cutting the air with a sharp whistle toward the assassin, stabbing her from behind. The metallic warrior barely registered movement before the machete reached its neck. Crack! Metal scales were sheared clean through. The machete shattered under the immense force behind the strike, even as it sliced deep into the warrior's neck. The metallic warrior's red-slit eyes dimmed. Its head clattered free and bounced twice across the metal floor. 1. Chen Lu pushed off the ground and charged straight at the remaining warrior. At the same time, she drew a brand-new machete from her backpack. That warrior had traded blows with Chen Lu moments before. Now, watching its comrade die in a single strike, genuine fear flickered in its red-slit eyes. It tried to retreat, but Chen Lu was far faster. With 144 agility, she outpaced the speed it prided itself on. She swept her machete horizontally across its midsection. Its metallic scales offered little resistance against 156 points of strength. The blade cut clean through, though this machete also shattered from the strain. The warrior's upper body slid free from its waist. Its lower half kept stumbling backward for 2 paces before crashing to the ground. 2. Chen Lu tossed aside the broken weapon and pulled another machete from her pack. The gust from her charge stirred the hem of her pleated skirt. Her twin tails swayed over her shoulders. The 2 warriors who had pressed her hard had not survived 2 full rounds once Ghost Aura activated. The livestream comments went completely wild. What just happened? How did Sister Lu get so fast all of a sudden? A skill. She unleashed some kind of burst ability. Her strength and agility spiked. 1 strike each. Those metal monsters are like paper against her. Sister Lu is unstoppable. Long live Sister Lu. I said it before. She has been hiding her true power. She pulled the same trick against Zhao Hao, overwhelming him instantly. This is the family ship's power. Fairy Su one-shots foes. Sister Lu cuts them down one after another, and that sharpshooting lady crippled a rock giant. What an absurdly powerful team. Sun Jack is still struggling against 1 assassin, while Sister Lu has already taken down 2. The gap is staggering. Sister Lu, Sister Lu, Sister Lu. Comments flooded the screen, her nickname dominating the livestream feed. Zhao Tongtong grew so excited she jumped out from behind her sister, her high ponytail bouncing as she hopped up and down. Sister Lu, you are incredible. You are my idol. From now on you rank equally with Fairy Su as my #1 idol. Her voice rose with excitement, completely forgetting she stood on an active battlefield. I thought Fairy Su was your only idol. Zhao Jia teased for once. That was before. Now Sister Lu counts 2. 2 idols. Zhao Tongtong answered unapologetically. Sun Jack was the most shocked of all. He knew full well how strong these metallic warriors were from his own fight. Their speed was only slightly inferior to his, and their strength matched his own. Even fighting with everything he had, he knew he could never take out 2 in an instant. He would struggle just to kill 1 quickly. Yet Chen Lu had eliminated both in the blink of an eye. That sudden surge of power and speed, that terrifying cutting force capable of shearing through metal scales, sent cold shivers running down Sun Jack's spine. He couldn't help recalling what had just happened inside the docking bay. Chen Lu stood right in front of him, holding out her palm and saying in a matter-of-fact tone, "Hand it over." Back then, though he had feared Su Qingli and Lin Mu, he had never truly taken Chen Lu seriously. To him, she was merely a young girl well protected by the other members of the clan vessel. Only now did he realize how terribly wrong he had been. If he had refused to hand over the train invitation card back then, and if Chen Lu had truly attacked him, judging by the combat power she had just unleashed, he would most likely have died at her hands. Neither Lin Mu nor Su Qingli would even have needed to lift a finger. This single girl with twin ponytails alone could have taken his life. No wonder after getting the train invitation card, she had looked disappointed and said, "Why did you just give it to me?" She had genuinely been upset that she had not found an excuse to start a fight. Waves of cold dread washed over Sun Jack. Why were every single person from the clan vessel total monsters? Su Qingli could slay the magma giant and the flame human with 1 sword strike. When Chen Lu unleashed her full power, she cut down metal assassins one after another with each blow. That woman in black tights was still suppressing the rock giant in the rear with long-range attacks. Most terrifying of all was the man named Lin Mu. He had not truly made a single move from start to finish. Sun Jack swallowed hard. It suddenly dawned on him that he was still alive purely because the others could not be bothered to kill him. 2 metal warriors were cut down effortlessly by Chen Lu. Further back, the rock giant was brought to its knees by one Wontong's precise air bullets. Up ahead, The flame humanoid was reduced to ashes by a single sword strike from Su Qingli. In but a few breaths, nearly one-third of the more than 10 warriors of the Mako civilization had fallen. The remaining Mako warriors faltered in their assault. The red slit, like eyes, no longer held their former contempt and arrogance, replaced by shock and wariness. Yin Yin is dead. Rock armor can barely hold on. These Earth humans are not normal, one scaled metal warrior whispered to his comrade, disbelief heavy in his voice. I thought something was off when Kyle died. Now it is clear. Kyle deserved what he got. Another metal warrior took a slow step backward. The Earth humans we fought before were as weak as bugs. How can this group be so completely different? A third Mako warrior's voice carried a note of alarm. They were genuinely shaken. From the Mako civilization's perspective, Earth was a newly arrived, underdeveloped, low-level civilization that had only recently joined the train game. The Mako civilization, by contrast, had already won 2 consecutive civilization contests. Fighting a rookie civilization new to the train game should have been an easy victory. Yet the group standing before them was absurdly strong. No, more accurately, several individuals within this group were absurdly strong. At this moment, the live stream bullet comments flared back to life. The Mako monsters are finally scared. Weren't they so cocky just now? Didn't they want to carve up Earth? Where's all that bravado now? Sister Su 1 shots enemies. Sister Lu mows them down. Teacher Wen keeps them pinned down from afar. 3 people from the clan vessel have them totally stunned. I always knew the clan vessel was overpowered. The Mako civilization is nothing special. Don't get complacent. The Mako civilization hasn't actually lost that many combatants. That's right. Their strength is still intact. They're just stunned for the moment. We have to stay sharp. Overconfidence brings defeat. Wait a second. They don't seem to be retreating. Are they waiting for something? It was not only the bullet comment viewers who had noticed the anomaly. Everyone on the battlefield sensed it too. Just then, heavy footsteps echoed from deep down the corridor leading toward the main control hub. Thud, thud, thud. Each step was unbearably weighty, making the metal floor of the corridor tremble. Overhead light strips flickered on and off amid the vibrations, and metal wall panels hummed faintly. The Mako warriors, who had been locked in wary stand-off, all wore ecstatic expressions the instant they heard the footsteps. It's the Demon General, one scaled metal warrior shouted first. All fear and caution vanished from his voice, giving way to fanatical adoration. The Demon General has arrived. These Earth humans are doomed. Another Mako warrior trembled with excitement. Greetings, Demon General. Long live the Demon General. The rock giant in the rear dropped to one knee. Smoke curled from its bullet-pierced knee joints, yet it bowed its head toward the source of the footsteps in the most reverent posture. Every Mako warrior halted combat. They moved to line both sides of the corridor, clearing the central path. Some dropped to one knee. Others crossed their arms over their chests, and many hung their heads low. Every gesture radiated sincere awe and fanaticism. The bullet comments exploded. Demon General? Who is this Demon General? That title alone screams big time boss. To earn this level of respect from those monsters, this has to be a top-tier villain. Oh no, beat the minions, and now the boss shows up. This must be the Mako civilization's real trump card. I knew the Mako civilization couldn't only have fighters that strong. Their true powerhouse is finally making an appearance. The footsteps drew nearer, heavier with every stride. At last, a figure stepped out from the deep shadows of the corridor. It was a humanoid creature nearly 2 meters tall. 2 curved horns jutted from its head, reminiscent of a demon. Dark red veins crossed the surface of the horns, as if some scorching liquid flowed beneath. Its body was covered in natural armor that seemed to grow straight out of its skin. Its eyes held no pupils, merely 2 burning masses of blood, red flame. When it came to a standstill in the middle of the corridor, the air itself seemed to solidify. An intangible oppressive aura rolled off its frame, pressing down on every chest like a towering mountain. The Mako civilization's warriors broke out in collective cheers. Long live the Demon General. The Demon General is invincible. A mere Earth native, the Demon General can crush them with one hand. The Demon General paid no heed to its subordinates' cheers. From the moment it appeared, its gaze had been fixed firmly on Lin Mu. Those eyes of burning blood, red flames stared intently at Lin Mu, as if assessing and confirming something. Lin Mu, who had not yet struck a blow, finally let his expression turn grave. Ever since the Mako assault had begun, he had sensed an overwhelmingly powerful presence lurking deep within the corridor, biding its time. That presence had been lying low, waiting for the right moment. That was why he had held back from fighting. Now the source of that aura had revealed itself. Their gazes clashed across dozens of meters. The temperature in the corridor seemed to drop several degrees. The demon general studied Lin Mu for a long while before speaking in a low, rasping voice, like rough rock grinding against rock. I never expected to find a warrior of your caliber among the Earth humans. As those words fell, silence descended over the corridor. The Mako warriors exchanged bewildered glances, their red slit, eyes wide with disbelief. What did the demon general just say? That Earth human is a capable warrior. To earn such praise from the demon general, who exactly is that Earth human? Impossible. How could an Earth human deserve to be called a capable warrior by the demon general? What sort of being was the demon general? Every demon general, ranked warrior of the Mako civilization, was a veteran forged through mountains of corpses and seas of blood. Among the 300 trains representing the Mako civilization in the 100-sector contest, only a handful held demon general rank. And this demon general had just acknowledged an Earth human as a capable warrior. Shock rippled through the Earth side as well, among both the Alliance vessel members and Sun Jack. Zhao Victory gaped, raw astonishment written all over his rugged face. That demon general called Captain Lin a capable warrior. That being looks unbelievably strong, and even it acknowledges him. Lu Wen pushed up his glasses, his fingers trembling faintly. We already knew Captain Lin was strong, but to receive such recognition from an enemy of this caliber, his power must far exceed what we imagined. Fanya gasped. Does that mean Captain Lin is powerful enough to force even top-tier Mako fighters to treat him seriously? Zhao Tongtong clenched her fists in excitement, her high ponytail shaking along with her trembling frame. Sis, did you hear that? That huge, menacing boss called him a capable warrior. You have to be incredibly strong to earn that kind of respect. Zhao Zhizhi nodded. Her long hair fell over her shoulders as she stared at Lin Mu's back, complex emotions flickering across her features. To receive such words from a being like that, Captain Lin's strength likely goes well beyond what we can comprehend. Over near the wall, Sun Jack was beset by the most tangled feelings of all. He stared at the demon general's iron, gray chitin armor, and those burning blood flame eyes. Feeling the suffocating pressure rolling off its body, he then looked toward Lin Mu. This man who had not thrown a single punch the entire time still appeared calm, facing the demon general. Only his eyes had grown more serious. That gravity stemmed not from fear, but from the natural focus of someone finally meeting an opponent worthy of his full attention. He has been waiting for this demon general, Sun Jack muttered to himself, a bitter edge in his tone. It all clicked into place. During the earlier chaotic battle, Lin Mu had held back not for lack of strength, but because those Mako fighters had simply not been worth his effort. He had been waiting for his real foe. That meant, on a level invisible to everyone else, these two had long sensed each other's existence. In Lin Mu's eyes, Sun Jack was not even worth a single attack. The realization filled Sun Jack with unprecedented defeat. The bullet comments boiled over completely. Whoa, the big boss from Mako Strait. Up called Lin Mu a capable warrior. What insane prestige. To get that sort of acknowledgement from the main enemy boss, just how terrifying is Lin Mu's real power. Now I get why the 3 outstanding women from the clan vessel stick close to him. With power and presence like that, anyone would respect him. Earlier people kept questioning what Lin Mu had going for him. Now you see it? Power so great that top Mako forces have to treat him seriously. That said, this demon general looks extremely dangerous. Can Lin Mu win against it? No one knows. Lin Mu still hasn't gone all out, so nobody has seen his true upper limit. Finally, we're going to see Lin Mu fight for real. I've been waiting for this moment forever. In that instant, the demon general moved. Boom. Its foot slammed hard against the metal floor. The plating caved inward under its weight, cracks spider, webbing outward. The 2-meter-tall being shot forward like a cannon shell straight for Lin Mu. Its speed was mind-bending. Its charge whipped up violent gales. Light fixtures along the corridor swayed violently, and metal walls groaned under the strain. Its path toward Lin Mu ran directly past where Sun Jack was positioned. Sun Jack watched the iron, gray figure surging toward him amid raging winds, his pupils contracting to pinpricks. He tried to dodge. Shadow stealth activated on instinct, shadows churning beneath his feet. But the demon general was far too fast. Before the shadows could fully swallow him, the demon general's palm swatted out. The strike was not aimed at him. The demon general's target was Lin Mu. Sun Jack merely happened to stand in its path. This blow was nothing more than a casual swat, much like a person brushing aside an insect underfoot while walking down a road. Yet that casual swat hit Sun Jack as though a mountain had crashed into him. He was sent flying, tumbling through the air before slamming heavily into the corridor's metal wall. The wall dented deep under his impact, cracks spreading across its surface, the whole structure shuddering. Sun Jack slid down onto the floor. He lay there gasping for breath. Every inhale sending roiling surges of pain through his chest. Every bone in his body screamed in agony. The air had been nearly driven out of his lungs. Still, he was alive. He knew full well he survived only because the demon general's full attention rested on Lin Mu. That blow had been nothing but a passing swat. A swat to brush aside an insect in the way. If the creature had put even a fraction more force into the strike, he would already have been reduced to pulp. Cold sweat trickled down Sun Jack's back. With all his attributes sitting at 100 points, he had run rampant throughout Sector 17. Convinced he was already powerful, before this demon general, he was not even worthy of being taken seriously. Just as he himself had been insignificant in Lin Mu's eyes. The next second, Lin Mu moved. He did not retreat or dodge. He merely clenched his right fist and met the demon general's chitin-covered fist head on. He threw one punch. 220, 2 points of strength erupted without reservation. Two fists, one large, one comparatively smaller, collided dead center in the corridor. Boom. A muffled shockwave burst the moment their fists met. Visible shock. Waves blasted outward in every direction. Metal walls hummed under the impact. Fragments of ceiling light fixtures showered down. Several Mako warriors standing closest to the collision were forced several steps backward before regaining their footing. Their red slit, eyes widened in shock, locked onto the two figures clashing in the middle of the corridor. Further away, among the Earth group, Zhao Tongtong's ponytail whipped straight upward by the blast wind. Zhao Zhejia grabbed her sister to keep her from being blown off balance. Zhao Victory crossed his arms to shield himself, his rocky armor creaking under the gale. When Wantong pushed her askew glasses back into place, Su Qingli stood atop her flying sword, her robes flapping loudly in the wind. Chen Lu pressed both hands down on her wildly fluttering twin ponytails, her large eyes fixed unblinkingly on Lin Mu. "Senior," she whispered, her voice mixing pride with sharp anxiety. Within the combat zone, Lin Mu stepped back 3 paces before stabilizing himself. The demon general also took 3 steps backward. Both came to a standstill. Every pair of eyes was fixed on them. Among the Mako warriors, disbelief burned in their red-slit eyes. The demon general was forced back by that Earth human? Impossible. It cannot be. How can the demon general be evenly matched with an Earth human? What sort of monster is that Earth human? Am I dreaming? How can an Earth human be this powerful? I once thought about fighting him. I would have been signing my own death warrant. Kyle and Yin Yin got exactly what they deserved. These Earth humans exist on a completely different level from the rookies we have fought before. Stay calm. The demon general has not unleashed his full power. That punch was merely a test. Once the demon general gets serious, that Earth human is as good as dead. Exactly. That is far from the true extent of the demon general's strength. Their low murmurs carried clearly through the silent corridor. On the Earth side, the bullet comments erupted once more. Whoa. Lin Mu blocked it. He took the demon general's punch head on. Remember how Sun Jack got swatted aside like trash? Sun Jack has all attributes at 100 points and could not even endure a casual hit. Lin Mu caught the demon general's punch and held his ground. This is the power of the clan vessel's captain. Absolutely terrifying. Now everyone sees why the clan vessel is ranked number 1 in Sector 67. Su Qingli, Chen Lu, and Wen Wantong are formidable, but Lin Mu is on another level entirely. Who kept saying Lin Mu only got by relying on the women around him? Come explain yourselves now. Could you take that punch? Total respect. I used to be skeptical, but not anymore. Sun Jack fans, quiet all of a sudden. Everyone was hyping up his 100-point stats. Now look, he got swatted away like a fly. Quit kicking him while he is down. Sun Jack is already in bad shape on the floor. Still, I am worried the demon general was holding back. If he unleashes his real strength, Lin Mu will be in grave danger. True. We also do not know how much Lin Mu might still be hiding. In the middle of the corridor, the demon general slowly pulled its fist back. It glanced down at its knuckles. No damage marred its steel, like skin, yet the recoil force made its blood, flame eyes narrow slightly. It lifted its head and looked down at Lin Mu, regarding him much as a hunter might observe an unusually vigorous prey animal. You endured 70% of my full force punch, the demon general rumbled in its gravelly voice. You have merit. Though framed as praise, the words dripped with condescending arrogance. 70% power is all you had. Lin Mu shook his wrist, his tone level and unemotional. His voice was not loud. yet every word carried clearly to every person present in the corridor. The Mako warriors erupted in outrage. Arrogance. Unbridled arrogance. This Earth human is courting death. He thinks surviving one test punch means he can stand equal to the Demon General? Demon General, kill this insolent Earth human. Show him the true might of the Mako civilization. The burning blood, red flames in the Demon General's eyes flickered violently the instant Lin Mu finished speaking. Yet it did not fly into a rage. Instead, he laughed. A crack split open at the corner of his mouth, revealing 2 rows of sharp teeth within. Oomph, you overestimate yourself. The Demon General's voice carried a cruel sneer. Then let you witness my full power punch. As the words fell, the Demon General's body began to transform. Dark red runes lit up from beneath his steel, armored skin, spreading from his chest toward his limbs. Wherever the runes passed, his armor turned bright red and grew thicker, visibly far tougher than before. Even the entire corridor grew drastically hotter as his body blazed red. The crimson, cloaked Demon General resembled a blazing furnace. Not even the fire-wreathed humanoid creature that Su Qingli had slain with one sword earlier had emitted such intense heat. Several metal warriors closest to the Demon General instinctively stepped back. Their metallic scales glowed faintly red under the high temperature. At the same time, cheers from the Mako warriors reached a fever pitch. It's coming. Lord Demon General is going all out. The last time we saw Lord Demon General unleash his full strength was against the beast horde. With one punch, he tore straight through the entire horde surge. This earthling is doomed. No one can withstand Lord Demon General's full power strike. One punch, and not even ashes will remain of him. Having finished charging, the Demon General fixed his blood fire, burning eyes firmly on Lin Mu. Die, earthling. Boom. The Demon General's foot slammed hard against the ground once more. The metal plating beneath his feet shattered completely, sending fragments flying in all directions. His body turned into a blood-red meteorite, his right fist wrapped in searing energy as it hurtled toward Lin Mu. This punch was at least twice as fast as the last. Its power was at least 30% greater. His fist tore through the air with a shrill whistle, and the air in its path warped and distorted from the extreme heat. Everyone held their breath. Chen Lu clenched her hands so tightly her nails dug into her palms, yet she felt no pain. When Wantong froze halfway through pushing up her glasses, behind the lenses, her eyes were wide with tension. The flying sword beneath Su Qingli's feet trembled slightly. She had already readied herself to strike at any moment. Zhao Victory's rock armor covered his whole body. He wanted to rush forward to help, yet his feet would not move. He knew full well he could never endure the force of this punch. Even Sun Jack, lying on the ground, forced himself to lift his head and stare rigidly at the scene. He wanted to see whether this endlessly unfathomable man could block the blow. The instant the Demon General's fist was about to crash into Lin Mu's face, Lin Mu moved. Azura mode, activate. In that split second, his entire aura underwent a earth-shaking shift. A terrifying oppressive force, more than twice as powerful as before, burst forth from his body. 222 strength, doubled under Azura mode, 444. 218 agility, doubled under Azura mode, 436. 232 constitution, doubled under Azura mode, 464. 294 spirit, doubled under Azura mode, 588. All attributes surged. The Demon General's eyes, blazing with blood, red fire, twitched violently the moment Lin Mu activated Azura mode. He felt it. He felt the Earthling's aura more than double in an instant. The sudden outpouring of power, the sharp spike of pressure, triggered an instinctive sense of danger within him. But it was already too late to pull his punch back. 2 fists, one shrouded in crimson energy, the other seemingly unremarkable, crashed together in the middle of the corridor. Boom. This collision rang many times louder than the previous one. Shockwaves from the air blast shook the metal walls on both sides of the corridor violently, visible ripples running across their surfaces. All the overhead light strips blew out in the deafening crash. Only light from farther down the corridor provided dim illumination, making the residual red energy halo around the Demon General's fist burn all the brighter. Then everyone saw it. The Demon General's 2-meter-tall form was sent staggering backward more than 10 paces by Lin Mu's punch. His feet plowed 2 deep grooves across the metal floor amid ear, piercing scraping, sending sparks spraying all the way to where he finally came to a halt. Even the armor reinforced by dark red runes bore several fine cracks on his right arm. The cracks were short and shallow. Yet for the Demon General, This marked his first injury throughout the 100-sector tournament. Lin Mu merely stepped back twice before steadying himself. Dead silence fell over the corridor. Then the Mako warriors erupted in chaos. Impossible. This cannot be happening. One Mako warrior's voice shrilled, almost cracking. His red slit, like eyes, bulged as he stared at the fine cracks across the Demon General's right arm. Lord Demon General was knocked back? Knocked back by an earthling. Another Mako warrior's legs buckled, and he dropped to his knees. He fell with a sharp clink of metal scales against the floor. I must be dreaming. I have to be dreaming. How can an earthling be this strong? Hallucination. This has to be a hallucination. A rock giant hammered his own skull with his fists, producing dull thuds. He acted as if trying to beat himself awake from this nightmare. Full power. Lord Demon General's full power. And that earthling punched him backward. Did you feel that aura spike? That earthling's aura more than doubled in an instant. Kyle died deservedly. Yanhua died deservedly. What we are facing is no ordinary earthling. It is a monster wearing an earthling's skin. Shock, fear, and bewilderment showed plainly across the Mako warriors' faces. Once, they had stood haughty, regarding earthlings as vermin, casually talking of dismembering everyone aboard 3 Earth trains. Now those so-called vermin had struck back and sent their revered Lord Demon General reeling with a single punch. The Alliance ship's group was equally stunned. Rock, Skin Zhao Victory gripped Luwen's shoulder so hard Luwen winced in pain. Did I really see that? Captain Lin punched that Demon General backward? When that Demon General swatted Sun Jack aside earlier, I thought we were all going to die here. But Captain Lin not only blocked it, he knocked him back. You saw correctly. And mark this, Captain Lin's aura more than doubled in that instant. That degree of surge is no ordinary skill boost. It is more like some kind of power awakening. Luwen pried Zhao Victory's fingers off his shoulder as he spoke in a low, analytical tone. An aura doubling? What level of talent is that? Fanya covered her mouth, eyes wide. When the Demon General shouted about unleashing full power, I thought Captain Lin would be in trouble. Instead, Captain Lin turned the tables. Is he even human? Just how strong is Captain Lin? No one knows. But his strength far exceeds anything we imagined. Zhao Victory drew a deep breath, a trace of dread crossing his rugged features. Lucky for us, we treated the family vessel group decently from the start. If we had acted like Sun Jack, just thinking about it sends chills down my spine. The Zhao sisters stood at the front of the group, closest to Lin Mu, and had witnessed every detail of the exchange. Zhao Tongtong covered her mouth with both hands, her high ponytail trembling from overwhelming excitement. Her eyes, identical to her sister's, sparkled with awe. Sis. Her voice was soft, as though afraid of disturbing something. Zhao Zhejia's voice also trembled slightly. Captain Lin is so strong. He really is so strong. A flush rose across Zhao Tongtong's cheeks, undisguised admiration ringing in every word. That Demon General swatted Sun Jack away without even trying. Sun Jack never stood a chance. Yet Captain Lin not only endured the Demon General's full power blow, he sent him stumbling back more than 10 paces. 10 whole paces, sis. No wonder Sister Su and Sister Chen Lu hold him in such high regard. Zhao Zhejia pressed her lips together. A faint, complicated smile appeared on her gentle face beneath her long hair. Yes, he truly is formidable. With strength like this, it makes perfect sense why Sister Su and Chen Lu think so highly of him. Over by the wall, Sun Jack struggled to his feet. His face was as pale as paper, blood still crusted at the corner of his mouth, and his chest throbbed where the Demon General had struck him casually. Yet his gaze stayed locked on Lin Mu, his eyes dark with suppressed bitterness. One punch. The same Demon General who had swatted him aside effortlessly had been driven back more than 10 paces by Lin Mu's single blow, and wounded. Sun Jack's gaze fixed on the fine cracks across the Demon General's right arm. He thought back to his brilliant achievements in Sector 17, to his pride in his 100-point total attributes, to all the victories he had once taken such pride in. Then he thought of Lin Mu's punch. They were not in the same league, not even close. Previously, he had believed Lin Mu was only marginally stronger than Su Qingli and Chen Lu. Now he saw the gap was vast beyond measure. He did not understand what ability had caused Lin Mu's aura to spike. Yet in that moment, a chilling thought crossed his mind. If he had stood where the Demon General stood, facing that punch, his will to resist would have been crushed instantly. Heh. Sun Jack let out a bitter, self-mocking laugh and wiped the blood from his lip. Sector 17's top fighter? 100 total attributes? All of it meant nothing before Lin Mu. Lin Mu is awesome. Lin Mu is awesome. Lin Mu is awesome. Important enough to say 3 times. Who was saying Lin Mu was in danger just now? That demon general is the one in peril. Knocked back 10, odd steps, and armor cracked. That's not danger. That's overwhelming dominance. I knew Lin Mu was hiding a trump card. That aura surge was terrifying. Even through the screen, you can feel the pressure. Did anyone see Sun Jack's face? He is completely stunned. He kept bragging about his 100-point attributes, only to get swatted like a fly by the demon general. Meanwhile, Lin Mu trades blows evenly with the demon general. The gap speaks for itself. Sun Jack, please stop talking about me. I have suffered enough today. Ha ha ha, that comment is brutal. Sun Jack really got the short end of the stick today, swatted by the demon general while Lin Mu fights him on even ground. What a brutal contrast. This is wonderful. Humanity has such a powerful champion. There is hope we won't be wiped out entirely. Exactly. When I saw how arrogant the Mako civilization was earlier, my heart sank. But watching Lin Mu throw that punch fires my blood right back up. Go Lin Mu. Beat that demon general. Earth's fate rests on you. Honestly, I thought we were doomed in the 100 sector tournament. Now it looks like we do stand a fighting chance. Yes. Go Lin Mu. Go family vessel. Go Earth civilization. Lin Mu. Lin Mu. Lin Mu. Bullet comments flooded the stream. Lin Mu's name scrolling non-stop across the live broadcast feed. Back on the battlefield, Chen Lu was the first to exhale, realizing she had been holding her breath this whole time. That gave me such a fright. She muttered softly. She glanced over at Wenwantong. Wenwantong was turning toward her at exactly the same moment. Their eyes met, and both read the same profound relief in each other's gaze. When the demon general unleashed his full power and charged forward, even knowing how strong Lin Mu was, they could not help but hold their breath for him. But Lin Mu had blocked it. Not merely blocked it, he had struck back and cracked the foe's armor. The weight lifted from Chen Lu's heart, and her playful, fiery spirit returned. She planted her hands on her hips, tilted her chin toward where the Mako warriors huddled, her clear voice cutting sharply through the quiet corridor. I told you so. Senior would never lose to a horned brute. She shook her fist toward Lin Mu. Go get him, Senior. Crush that brute. I'll treat you to a proper steak for dinner later. Amused by Chen Lu's taunts, Wenwantong let out a quiet laugh. Su Qingli said nothing, yet her grip on her sword loosened. Sister Su, you were nervous for Senior too, weren't you? I saw your hand shaking. I was not. Su Qingli replied crisply, her gaze remaining fixed firmly on the figure in the middle of the corridor. Liar. You definitely were. I almost watched your sword slip right out of your grasp. Chen Lu would not drop the subject. My sword heart is unclouded. It will never slip from my hand. Su Qingli spoke calmly. Fine, you almost let it slip. Same difference. Su Qingli offered no further reply, only letting out a faint huff. Chen Lu wagged her twin ponytails triumphantly. Then she wheeled back around to taunt the still, stunned Mako warriors across the corridor. Hey, you brutes over there. Where did all your big talk go? You were going to carve us up, going to show us the true might of Mako civilization. Where's all that arrogance now? Why are you all cowering like frightened quails? She pulled a cheeky face at them. Naya, your great Lord Demon General is nothing special. Never met someone this strong before, have you? A rookie civilization through and through. Chen Lu's taunt struck home. Every word pricked the Mako warrior's pride. Speaking of which, your great Demon General has quite the distinctive look. Are those horns for hanging clothes? Or for roasting meat? Big as he is, he still needs to charge up before fighting. So clumsy. They call him Demon General? Slow, Wit General fits him better. Sister Lu, snails don't have horns. Zhao Tongtong piped up timidly from beside her. Brute, Snail General then. Either way, he's just meat. Chen Lu waved the comment aside dismissively. The bullet comments exploded with laughter. Ha ha ha, brute, Snail General. Sister Lu's sharp tongue never misses. Sister Lu's roast hit every single weak spot. I swear Sister Lu could make a killing as a stand-up comedian. Sister Lu activates taunt mode. Mako civilization takes critical mental damage. While Chen Lu kept up her jeers, driving the Mako warriors into a rage, the demon general in the center of the field finally stirred. He slowly lifted his head, his blood fire, burning eyes boring straight into Lin Mu. Those fine cracks across his right arm might be small, yet they stung his pride deeply. Injured, wounded by an earthling, wounded by one he had dismissed as vermin, even while unleashing his full power strike. This was humiliation the demon general had never known since attaining his rank. Impossible. Impossible. His voice grated, forced up from deep within his throat. Then fury erupted. Merely a lowly earthling. Merely a lowly earthling. His roar reverberated down the corridor, making the metal walls hum. His body began to shift once more. The dark red runes spreading across his chest and limbs, which had dimmed slightly after their exchange of blows, blazed back to life. They burned brighter than before, so bright they hurt the eyes. Crimson light burst forth from the runes, enveloping the demon general entirely within a blood-red aura. The surrounding temperature rocketed upward. No, Lord Demon General is burning his life force to overclock his power. One scaled metal warrior cried out in terror, his red slit, eyes flickering wildly. Run? In this state, he loses all reason. He will strike us down too. Another Mako warrior was already retreating, panic thick in his voice. The last time Lord Demon General burned his life force, entire encampments of allies were caught in the crossfire. We must get away at once. Even the rock giant ignored his leg wounds, scrambling to his feet to flee. Chaos erupted among the Mako warriors. All their earlier arrogance and composure vanished. Some turned and ran outright, some hesitated. Others stared in horror at the blazing demon general, watching a catastrophe about to unfold. Lin Mu stood perfectly still. Waves of scorching heat washed over him, lifting the edges of his clothing and stirring his hair. Yet he did not yield an inch. His expression never changed. He merely watched the demon general charge power, his gaze calm as still deep water. Chen Lu stepped back 2 paces from the oppressive heat. She raised a hand to shield her face from the searing gusts, the hem of her pleated skirt flapping violently in the hot wind. "Senior," she called out, worry edging her tone. "Fall back." Lin Mu spoke without turning his head. Only 2 words, spoken in a flat tone, yet carrying unyielding authority. Chen Lu bit her lower lip. Reluctantly, she pulled Wen Wantong and Su Qingli several steps backward. The demon general's crimson radiance grew ever more blinding. Visible ripples of energy expanded outward in concentric circles around him, warping metal and deforming walls wherever they passed. "Earthling, behold 120% of my power." The demon general's roar no longer sounded like that of any normal living being. It came out hoarse and berserk, every syllable brimming with destructive rage. He knew burning his life force granted power far beyond his normal limits. Yet the cost was a massive drain on his vitality. Pushed too far, and it could cost him his life. But the demon general cared nothing for that now. Humiliation, rage, and resentment churned wildly inside him, coalescing into a single, overriding thought. Kill him. Kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him, kill him. His burning eyes dissolved into 2 roiling spheres of pure, crimson fire. He said no more. No more jeers, no more condescending posturing. He locked onto Lin Mu, then launched himself forward like an artillery shell. Boom. The metal plating beneath his feet blew completely apart under the force of his push, sending shards flying everywhere. Temperatures in the corridor spiked once again. The air warped and twisted from the furnace, like heat. Everyone was forced backward by the scorching shockwave. The alliance group retreated 7 or 8 paces. The Mako warriors fell back more than a dozen. Even when Wantong and Su Qingli were driven several steps away, only Lin Mu did not move. Under Azura mode, with 444 strength, 436 agility, 464 constitution, and 588 spirit, against a demon general amplified by burning his life essence, there was only one path open to him. Meet force with force. Boom. Their fists collided once more. This crash was even more horrific than the last, akin to 2 meteorites slamming together in the middle of the corridor. Shockwaves exploded outward from the point of impact. The metal walls on either side rippled and buckled. A large section of the ceiling was torn loose, debris tumbling through the air and flying far away. Then came the second punch, the third punch, the fourth punch. The 2 figures engaged in brutal, primal hand-to-hand combat in the center of the corridor. Punch for punch, blow crashing onto a shoulder, blow slamming into a chest. No fancy techniques, no clever tricks. Nothing but raw, bone, jarring collisions. Pure, unadulterated force clashing head-on. Every collision of fists exploded with thunderous booms. Each exchange of blows sent the entire corridor shaking violently. Every time the demon general's fist landed on Lin Mu, it forced him step backward. Yet Lin Mu's counterattacks came just as fast and heavy, each one slamming solidly against the demon general's crimson, glowing armor. His clothing gradually tore apart under high temperatures and fist-generated gusts, revealing smooth, well-defined muscles underneath. Under the Berserker enhancement state, his 464 constitution allowed him to tank the demon general's blazing crimson fists. Though every blow roiled his internal chi and blood, none inflicted critical injury. The demon general fared no better. With every punch Lin Mu landed, A new crack spread across its armor. Fissures first appeared across its right arm, then crept across its chest, left shoulder, and its entire upper torso. Dark red light seeped through the cracks, streaming down its body like blood. Die, die, die. The demon general had descended fully into frenzy. Its fists flew faster and heavier, each strike carrying the madness of total destruction. Lin Mu remained silent, but his own punches also grew swifter and more powerful. Shockwaves from their battle rippled outward non-stop. Metal walls lining the corridor were mangled beyond recognition. Pock, marked with dents and fractures. Large sections of ceiling caved in, exposing the pitch, black void above, and tangled networks of pipelines. Even the space station's outer hull began splitting open under their repeated clashes. A thin crack snaked across the far end wall of the corridor and spread rapidly in all directions. Hiss! Amid shrill whistling, air inside the corridor surged violently outward through the breach. Paper scraps, metal shards, and every unsecured object were caught in the airflow and swept toward the rift. The station hulls breached. Luwen reacted first. He clung tightly to a raised wall handrail to avoid being dragged away. Everyone grab onto fixed structures. Don't get sucked out. Zhao Victory snatched two nearby team members. His feet turned rock, solid, anchoring him firmly to the floor. Sis, grab my hand. Zhao Tongtong gripped wall, mounted pipelines with one hand, and held fast to Zhao Jejia with the other. When Wantong shielded Chen Lu behind her, driving her fingers deep into wall crevices. Beneath Su Qingli's feet, her flying sword dipped slightly. She wove a sword, energy barrier before herself to block the raging gale. Bullet comments exploded at this moment. Holy cow! They punched through the space station. What kind of monsters are these two? Battle aftershocks alone breached the outer hull. What tier of combat power is this? We're doomed. Air is leaking. Are they all going to get sucked out into space? Probably not. Space stations must have emergency containment systems. With this massive decompression, isolation hatches should seal automatically. Look, Lin Mu and that demon general are still fighting. They don't even care about the crack. They can keep clashing amid these hurricane force winds? Are they even human? The worries voiced in bullet comments soon proved justified. Blinding red emergency lights flickered on along the corridor, and shrill alarms blared through every passage. Right afterward, several heavy metal isolation hatches descended from ceilings and slid out from walls, slowly closing off the four branching corridors from the crossroads where air was escaping. Yet the fight between Lin Mu and the demon general raged on. The frenzied demon general would not halt, and Lin Mu had no choice but to keep matching its ferocity. Meanwhile, the original crack kept widening under constant air pressure. More atmosphere rushed outside. Air pressure inside plummeted, and a high-pitched ringing filled everyone's ears. Senior, the breach is getting bigger. Chen Lu's voice broke through howling winds, carrying clearly to Lin Mu's ears despite intermittent distortion. I will hold it off. You all leave now. Lin Mu's voice stayed steady and resolute amid the gale. Chen Lu froze where she stood, overcome by frustration. She had grown far stronger. She was no longer the girl she once had been. Lu, go. When Wantong spoke softly yet firmly, Chen Lu tried to protest, but found herself unable to form words. Lu, stay calm precisely at times like this. We cannot become his burden. Su Qingli spoke next. Chen Lu took a deep breath and nodded hard. Understood. Then she lifted her head and broke into a bright grin. Remember, I'm someone reliable. With that, Chen Lu spun and sprinted toward the nearest corridor. Her twin ponytails whipped arcs through the wind, and the hem of her pleated skirt flapped wildly. Wen Wantong and Su Qingli exchanged glances before darting after her. The three raced toward the power module corridor at astonishing speed. Chen Lu led the charge. As she passed the Zhao sisters, she reached out and snatched Zhao Tongtong up, tucking her beneath one arm. Whoa. Before Zhao Tongtong could process what happened, she was being carried. Her high ponytail flailed in shock while her arms instinctively wrapped around Chen Lu's waist. When Wantong seized Zhao Jejia's wrist and hauled her forward, Zhao Jejia stumbled briefly before regaining balance, her long hair billowing like a waterfall in the wind. Thank you. Zhao Jejia's tone remained gentle, laced with lingering fright. Save your words. Run. When Wantong did not look back, the isolation hatches kept lowering. The gap between panels and floor shrank second by second. Hurry. Holding Zhao Tongtong, Chen Lu skimmed low and darted through the narrowing opening. Her pleated skirt caught against the edge, tearing a small gash. Right behind her, when Wantong dragged Zhao Jejia, the two rolled through just before the hatch slammed shut. Su Qingli crossed last, Boom. The isolation hatch sealed completely, cutting off the crossroads section from the power module. The shrill shriek of escaping air died instantly. Only flashing red emergency lights, blaring alarms, and the heavy gasps of the four women echoed inside the corridor. Chen-Lu scrambled to her feet, ignoring dust coating her skirt, and threw herself against the hatch. Through its narrow observation window, she stared out toward the crossroads they had just fled. Walls kept fracturing. Atmosphere poured outward non-stop. Swirling metal fragments formed a whirling storm of debris. And at the heart of all this chaos, Lin Mu and the demon general kept trading blow after blow. Senior. Chen-Lu pressed both palms against the metal frame of the viewport, her wide eyes fixed unblinkingly on the ongoing battle. He will win. When Wantong stepped beside her, also gazing out through the window, Su Qingli stood a short distance behind them, silent. Her gaze likewise locked on the chaotic battlefield beyond the glass. Zhao Tongtong collapsed onto the metal floor, gasping for breath. Their desperate escape had terrified her. Her high ponytail sat askew. Smudges of dirt streaked across her cheeks. Still, like Chen-Lu, her eyes stayed glued to the outside scene. Can Captain Lin even breathe out there? Zhao Tongtong panted, thick worry in her voice. It is a vacuum now. Zhao Zhejia knelt beside her younger sister, her long hair falling loosely over her shoulders. She observed more closely. No air remained in the crossroads zone beyond the window. Debris no longer spiraled, but traveled in straight lines toward the breach. The unobstructed motion of objects in zero-atmosphere space. Without air, ordinary humans lose consciousness in a dozen seconds. Yet Captain Lin keeps fighting. How can he function freely in vacuum? Zhao Zhejia paused, genuine disbelief flickering in her soft eyes. That's just how Senior is. Chen-Lu replied without turning her head, brimming with unquestionable pride. She offered no further explanation, for none was needed. In Chen-Lu's mind, the very title Senior answered every impossibility. On the opposite side of the isolation hatch, meanwhile, Lin Mu quickly registered what had happened. The air was gone. After the hatch closed, every trace of atmosphere within the crossroads leaked away through the rift. The area had become total vacuum. Lin Mu felt his breathing stop entirely. It was not that he chose not to breathe. There was simply nothing to draw into his lungs. His chest felt hollow. Every instinctive inhalation pulled in nothing but emptiness. Worse still, pressure differences threatened to draw fluids out from within his body. Liquids inside his blood vessels simmered and churned, straining to burst through his skin. Residual gas trapped inside his chest expanded violently under vacuum, threatening to rupture his ribcage from within. Yet Lin Mu's physique was extraordinary. Under berserker enhancement, his 464 constitution far surpassed the limits of ordinary living beings. His skin was tougher than steel, vessel walls outperformed composite alloys, muscle fibers rivaled high-strength metal. Against such a body, vacuum pressure differences amounted to little more than odd sensations. Blood continued circulating normally inside his veins, and expanding residual gas could not tear his reinforced internal organs. Lin Mu even sensed faint energy seeping directly into him from surrounding space, sustaining bodily functions in place of oxygen. So this is how it is. He realized something. He could survive short-term exposure to vacuum. Suffocating discomfort lingered, and prolonged exposure would still prove fatal, yet vacuum itself would not kill him immediately. What about the demon general? Lin Mu shifted his gaze toward his foe. The demon general's condition had visibly worsened. Though it still stood and threw punches, its movements grew stiffer. The blood-red flames burning within its eyes dimmed, their flickers slowing in the vacuum. It was not helpless against vacuum. Perhaps it adapted to cosmic environments even better than Lin Mu. The demon void civilization appeared vastly more technologically advanced than humanity, so such resilience made sense. But it had burned its life essence earlier. That forbidden technique, trading vitality for power, exacted a terrible toll on its frame. Combined with vacuum exposure, compound pressures had reduced its combat effectiveness by at least 30%. Then Lin Mu grasped a critical truth. Only he and the demon general remained here. Earlier, he had held back his spirit, force cannon, fearing its immense power would rupture the station's walls. Inside this sealed facility, a hull breach would endanger everyone. But things were different now. Breaches already existed. All air had escaped. The isolation hatch was fully sealed. No bystanders remained to endanger, no allies left to protect. What reason was there to hold back? A faint smirk tugged at Lin Mu's lips. He raised his right hand toward the demon general. Mental power churned furiously in his palm. Boosted by berserker enhancement, his 588 mental force drew ambient energy. compressing it into a fist-sized condensed sphere. It was no ball of air. Vacuum held no air left to compress. Still, the energy construct took shape, forged purely from concentrated mental power, cramped under immense compression. It glowed pale, translucent blue, faint energy ripples flickering along its edges. Spirit, force cannon. This time, it drew no power from air. It drew power from mental force itself. The demon general sensed mortal peril. Its dim blood, red fire eyes blazed sharply. It opened its maw to roar, yet sound could not travel through vacuum. It watched Lin Mu push his palm forward. In that instant, the demon general's pupils constricted. It tried to dodge, tried to block, tried anything to evade the strike. But it was too late. The pale, blue energy projectile erupted from Lin Mu's palm, unimpeded by atmospheric drag inside vacuum. It moved with near teleport speed. Boom. The spirit, force cannon slammed dead, center into the demon general's chest. The 2-meter tall figure was sent flying like a baseball, slamming hard against the metal wall behind it. A massive indent caved into the wall, fractures spiderwebbing outward. Then the wall gave way. Another gaping hole tore through the station's outer hull. Remaining atmosphere escaped even faster. Frost clinging to older cracks was ripped loose and swept away by outflowing particles. The demon general tumbled back into the corridor through the new breach, skidding across metal flooring before halting. A deep dent marred its crimson chest armor, crossed with fractures oozing dark, red luminescence. Lin Mu gave it no chance to recuperate. A second spirit, force cannon, was already on its way. Boom. This blast struck its left shoulder. The demon general spun violently across the floor. Large sections of shoulder armor shattered, revealing dark, red muscular tissue underneath. Third shot, aimed squarely at its abdomen. The demon general barely crossed its arms to block. Even so, the impact hurled it sliding more than 10 meters, scattering battle debris everywhere. Fourth shot, fifth shot, sixth shot. Lin Mu unleashed volley after volley. Empowered by his berserker, boosted 588 mental force. Each blast packed enough force to pierce military-grade steel plating. He loosed more than a dozen such blasts in quick succession. Under this relentless bombardment, the demon general was tossed about like a punching bag. It crashed repeatedly against walls, floors, and ceilings, leaving deep dents everywhere it impacted. Lin Mu privately marveled at how tenaciously it clung to life. It sought to counterattack, to surge forward and crush Lin Mu beneath its fists still burning with demonic fire. Yet it could not. Lin Mu's barges came too relentlessly. Every time it gathered momentum to strike, a cannon blast shattered its momentum anew. On the power module side, the 4 women stared in stunned disbelief through the observation window. Zhao Tongtong's jaw hung open. She paid no mind to her lopsided ponytail. Her eyes bulged wide. Witnessing Lin Mu overwhelm the demon general out in the vacuum-stricken crossroads. Captain Lin, hee. Words failed her. She could find no way to articulate the spectacle unfolding before her. Was he holding back this entire time? Zhao Jia finished the thought for her, her usual gentle tone thick with shock. Not exactly holding back. When Wantong adjusted her glasses, rational glint shining behind lenses. Earlier we were present. He dared not use the spirit, force cannon. Its destructive power would easily breach the hull and imperil us. Now the hatch is sealed, leaving only him and the demon general. He can unleash his full strength without restraint, meaning Captain Lin suppressed his real power all along. Comprehension dawned on Zhao Jia, complex emotions stirring within her soft gaze. Not pure suppression, yet he never went all out. What we witness now represents his true capacity. Su Qingli spoke quietly, her eyes soft as she watched Lin Mu unleash his assault. Chen Lu pressed herself flush against the observation pane, cheeks and palms flat to the glass, squishing her nose. All prior fear had vanished from her wide eyes, replaced by pure exhilaration and admiration. Senior, you are amazing. Blast him. Keep blasting. Teach him a lesson. Let him look down on us. Let him try to kill us. Blast him. Blast him. Blast him. She hammered her fists lightly against the viewport glass. Her pleated skirts tear-frayed further. Yet she paid it no heed. Lu, that demon general is nearly torn to shreds already. Zhao Tongtong whispered beside her. Shredded is not enough. Even shredded things can still hold together. I want him completely broken. Chen Lu retorted confidently, continuing to cheer Lin Mu on. Meanwhile, in the observation area outside the main control hub, surviving warriors of the Demon Void civilization clustered before viewing panels. Their slit-shaped crimson eyes displayed a tangled mix of bewilderment, confusion, and dread. Incredulity. A void, Demon Warrior pressed its dual claws against the observation window glass, its red, slitted eyes flickering violently from sheer shock. Lord Demon General is being used as a punching bag. Its voice was faint, almost as if it feared being overheard. Yet in the silent corridor, every void, Demon Warrior heard it crystal clear. No one replied. All eyes were fixed on the scene unfolding outside. They watched the Earth, human unleash successive pale, blue energy blasts, sending the Demon General flying time and again, as the crimson armor covering its body shattered piece by piece. The Lord Demon General burned his life essence and unleashed 120% of his power, mumbled another rock giant. The reverence and fanaticism in its tone had vanished, replaced by hollow bewilderment. And still he is getting beaten like this. That Earth, human has been holding back his true strength all along, spoke a warrior crouched in the corner, its voice hoarse. He was never evenly matched with the Demon General. He was merely testing, probing for our trump cards. Now he knows what we are capable of. He is going all out. We once thought we could hunt this Earth, human, and divide the spoils among ourselves. Another void, Demon Warrior let out a bitter laugh, its metal scales clinking faintly as it trembled. It turns out we are the prey. After a brief lull, the bullet comment section erupted with unprecedented fervor. So overpowered. Lin Mu is absolutely thrashing the Demon General. Did you see that Demon General? How arrogant he was earlier, boasting 70% power. Full power, 120% power. And look at him now, getting tossed around by Lin Mu. Lin Mu, what percentage of power did you say? I can't quite hear you. Say that again. Haha, that comment is brutal, but I love it. The Demon General's arrogance has come back to bite him hard. Remember when the Demon General showed up? All those void demons knelt to greet him. I thought he was some incredible big boss. Turns out he's just that. Just that. To be fair, the Demon General really is strong. Remember how he sent Sun Jack flying with one punch and held his own against Lin Mu for so long? He's no weakling. He just ran into someone far stronger. Right? It's not that the Demon General is weak. Lin Mu is just that good. One blast after another. Nobody could survive that. I wonder what skill this even is. All I want to know is what level Lin Mu has reached. This combat power is way beyond what someone of a normal level should have. Forget levels, I don't even dare guess his stat panel. I used to think he was only a little stronger than Sun Jack. Now it's so much more than that. 300? Too low. If he can beat a Demon General burning his life essence, his total stats have to be at least 500. Has anyone else noticed Lin Mu can survive in vacuum? What kind of physique is that? I'm so jealous. I wish I could join the family vessel crew. Even just as a tag, along would be amazing. Wake up. You wouldn't even qualify to be a tag, along. Every one of the 3 women aboard the family vessel is a capable powerhouse. The bullet comments scrolled frantically, yet the atmosphere in the corridor beside the habitat bay could not have been more different. The survivors from the Alliance vessel, who had fled into the habitat bay corridor, crowded before the observation window. All gazes locked onto the one-sided battle raging outside. Zhao Shunli's jaw hung wide open. His rock-formed arms had reverted, revealing scar-covered skin underneath. Good grief, was all he managed to get out after a long pause. When Captain Lin was clashing with the Demon General earlier, I thought that was his absolute limit. Lu Wen pushed his glasses up, his eyes behind the lenses filled with tangled emotions. Now it's obvious he was just warming up against the Demon General. Warming up, Fangya let out a bitter laugh. That's putting it far too nicely, Brother Lu. Captain Lin was holding back the whole time to keep us from getting caught in the crossfire. Now that we've retreated to safety, he's unleashed his full power. Look what's happening. The Demon General can barely fight back. Which means everything we assumed about the family vessel was wrong. Zhao Shunli slowly tore his eyes away from the window, a look of dread crossing his rugged face. At first we thought Su Qingli was the family vessel's top damage dealer. The one who shot the magma giant. Then we saw Sister Lu could hold her own, taking down 2 metal warriors single-handed. As for Captain Lin, I originally figured he was just a good commander who relied on leadership. He paused and swallowed hard. Now we know. He only holds back because no opponent has ever been worth going all out against. Thankfully, we treated the family vessel respectfully from the start, Lu Wen added, his tone laced with relief. Thinking about Sun Jack's attitude back then, he was dancing right on the edge of death. At the mention of Sun Jack, every member of the Alliance vessel shifted their expressions. They turned as one toward the far end of the corridor, toward the figure leaning against the wall. Blood still smudged the corner of Sun Jack's mouth, and his complexion was deathly pale. His eyes were fixed on the battle outside the observation window. yet his gaze held none of the awe or reverence seen on the faces of the Alliance vessel crew. Instead, it was complex, somber, filled with unnameable feelings. Almost simultaneously, the Alliance vessel crew adjusted their stances. Zhao Xingli stepped to the front. Though Zhao Jijia had warned him not to unleash his full power again, his instincts drove him to shield his teammates behind him. Lu Wen moved to his side, a dagger sliding smoothly into his palm. The other combat-ready crew members tightened their grips on their weapons. They watched Sun Jack. Sun Jack watched them back. The air between the two sides grew taut and still. The bullet comment section picked up on the rising tension. Wait a minute, something's going down by the Habitat Bay. The Alliance vessel crew and Sun Jack are both there. The family vessel crew was keeping Sun Jack in check before, but now the isolation door separates them. These two groups are face to face. Is Sun Jack going to strike now? He has 100 total stat points. Apart from Zhao Xingli, who can tank hits, none of the Alliance vessel crew stand much of a chance against him. Don't jump to conclusions. The demon general landed a heavy blow on him. Look at him propped against that wall. He's badly hurt. Can he even fight? Still can't let our guard down. Sun Jack is ruthless. Who knows what hidden tricks he might still have. Honestly, the Alliance vessel should take him out right now. He's a ticking time bomb. Who knows when he'll stab them in the back. That's way too harsh. They're technically on the same side. There are still void, demon stragglers out there. Infighting would only play into the enemy's hands. Same side. Where was that sense of alliance when Sun Jack pressured the Alliance vessel? Where was it when he threw his own teammates to their deaths? A guy like that deserves what's coming to him. Arguments flared in the comment feed, and the tension on site kept climbing. Zhao Xingli breathed heavily. Every rise and fall of his chest strained old internal injuries left by the magma giant. Though Zhao Jijia had healed him, activating his rock form twice in quick succession had left him deeply fatigued. He knew full well that in his current state, he could not beat Sun Jack. Even wounded, Sun Jack's baseline of 100 total stat points made him far deadlier than anyone else on the Alliance vessel crew. Lu Wen had reached the same conclusion. His fingers brushed the hilt of his dagger. His eyes behind the glasses tracking every tiny movement Sun Jack made. He could cast Wind Step at any moment. Yet he knew Sun Jack's shadow stealth might outpace it. The rest of the crew were equally on edge, their breathing growing shallow and rapid. They waited for Sun Jack to make the first move, or to say something. But Sun Jack said nothing. He merely leaned against the wall, one hand pressed to his chest where the demon general had struck him. No hostile gestures, no words. The Alliance vessel crew exchanged confused glances. Fang Ye leaned in and whispered beside Zhao Xingli's ear. Brother Zhao, what's he playing at? Why isn't he attacking? I don't know. Zhao Xingli whispered back, shaking his head. But we cannot relax. As long as he stands beside us, we stay alert. Lu Wen pushed his glasses higher, scanning Sun Jack up and down several times before speaking slowly. He's seriously injured. I saw his breathing go ragged when the demon general sent him flying. His right leg stumbled badly upon landing. Plus shadow stealth drains mental energy. He might not be guaranteed to win against us right now. But we aren't guaranteed to win either, Zhao Xingli rumbled. Exactly. So he's weighing his options, and so are we. Neither side holds a sure victory. So we are stuck in this standoff. Lu Wen nodded, sounding helpless. Then we hold this standoff. So long as he doesn't strike first, we won't provoke him. Once Captain Lin defeats the demon general and the isolation door reopens, Sun Jack will no longer be a threat. Zhao Xingli reached his decision. The rest of the Alliance vessel crew nodded, yet none loosened their grip on their weapons. They maintained their defensive stances, never taking their eyes off Sun Jack. The bullet comments closely followed the impasse. Sun Jack isn't attacking? That's so out of character for him. Why would it be? He's injured. The Zhao sisters are gone, but 6 Alliance vessel crew remain. A fight would be no sure thing for him. Right. It's not that he doesn't want to fight. He just doesn't have the odds in his favor. Honestly, Sun Jack is in a terrible spot. All his teammates are dead. He's all alone. He's too hurt to attack, yet everyone treats him like a threat. Poor him. He brought this entirely upon himself. If he hadn't been so arrogant, poaching allies and plotting behind everyone's backs, he wouldn't be in this mess. Exactly. If he'd cooperated properly like the Alliance vessel, he wouldn't have ended up as cannon fodder. Serves him right. While the comment section raged on, Chen Lu, leaning against the observation window in the power bay, suddenly slammed her palm against the glass, nearly leaping to her feet. Look, that stake-looking monster is trying to run away. Her outburst startled Zhao Tongtong beside her. Everyone crowded toward the viewing pane. Outside in the vacuum battlefield, the demon general, who had been taking blow after blow from Lin Mu, abandoned its futile charges toward him. After enduring so many beatings, its flame, red eyes regained a flicker of sanity. Raw survival instinct kicked in. It wanted to live. Riding the recoil from one of Lin Mu's air blasts, the demon general twisted sharply in mid-air, then smashed its fist hard against the space station's outer hull. Boom! A massive new rupture was torn open. Debris drifted silently outward into the void, and beyond the breach stretched endless cosmic space. The demon general dove straight through the hole. Its 2-meter-tall body tumbled through vacuum, arms snapping out to seize a protruding pipeline on the station's exterior. Using it as leverage, it swung and scrambled rapidly across the hull, alternately grabbing pipes, support struts, wrecked signal, tower fragments, and solar panel frames. Every grip hurled its body further forward. Lin Mu froze for a split second. He had not expected the demon general to flee. Earlier, it had burned its life essence in a berserk rage, hell, bent on killing him. Lin Mu had assumed it would fight until death. He had not anticipated that once sanity returned, its first priority would be escape. Cannot let a ferocious beast escape to fight another day. Lin Mu's body reacted faster than his thoughts. He pushed off hard and charged straight for the breach. The moment he launched out of the station, the vast expanse of outer space unfolded before him. Beneath him lay the station's huge, mangled metal shell. In the distance hung a blue planet strikingly similar to Earth. Overhead, countless stars burned quietly against the black celestial backdrop. Lin Mu stared, briefly awestruck by the grand sight. Then he grabbed onto hull protrusions and gave chase in the direction the demon general was fleeing. Chun Lu pressed herself against the observation window, watching the two figures vanish over the curvature of the station, stamping her feet anxiously. Senior is chasing him out there, into open space. Though she had already watched Lin Mu fight the demon general in vacuum, seeing him race into the depths of space still filled her with sharp anxiety. Calm down. Wan Wantong set a hand gently on Chun Lu's shoulder, her tone soft and unshaken. He would not give chase unless he was confident. When has Lin Mu ever picked a fight he cannot win? But Chun Lu bit her lower lip, her twin ponytails swaying with her restless stamping. Trust him, Su Qingli spoke from nearby, her voice cool and clear. Chun Lu glanced between Wan Wantong and Su Qingli, took a deep breath, and nodded firmly. All right, I trust Senior. She pressed her face and palms back against the glass, staring out into the endless cosmos, muttering non-stop. I wish we could see what's happening out there right now. Standing behind her, Zhao Tongtong had a sudden thought. The live stream. Maybe the feed can switch to an exterior camera. Chun Lu's eyes lit up as the idea sank in. Right? The live stream. Chun Lu immediately opened her interface. The live stream feed had split into 3 separate viewpoints. The top frame showed the power bay corridor. Chun Lu's twin ponytails nearly filled the foreground, with Wan Wantong, Su Qingli, and the Zhao sisters standing close by. The middle frame targeted the habitat bay. The Alliance vessel crew and Sun Jack were clearly visible, still locked in that delicate standoff, neither side making a move. And the bottom frame displayed outer space. It's Senior, Chun Lu shouted, pointing at the screen. Against the pitch-black cosmic background, Lin Mu raced across the station's broken outer hull. He seized protruding structures with alternating hands, each pull launching him further ahead. Some distance ahead, the demon general fled for its life. Its wounds, exposed to vacuum, seemed to widen. Holy cow! The stream split the screen. Finally we get to watch Lin Mu out there. Lin Mu is insane, chasing the demon general across outer space hulls. What an epic chase. Look how beaten down the demon general is. So arrogant before, now he's like a wounded stray animal on the run. Lin Mu, time for you to learn what it means to be hunted. Demon General, I am a noble void. Demon General, how dare some Earth human chase me like a rabbit? This is genuine space pursuit. More thrilling than any sci-fi movie. Hilarious to watch. The same Demon General whom all void demons knelt to honor is now being hunted across the station hull by an Earth human. On screen, Lin Mu gripped the wreckage of a broken signal tower, swung his body, and thrust his left palm forward. A pale, blue air blast shot from his palm, tracing a straight luminous trail through vacuum, and slamming precisely into the hull directly in the Demon General's path. Boom! A huge crater blew open in the metal plating, debris scattering soundlessly through emptiness. The pipeline the Demon General had intended to grab got blown apart. Its outstretched claws closed on nothing but void. It lost its balance, tumbled multiple times, and only regained purchase by latching onto another support beam. Earth, human, will you truly hunt me to the death? The demon general twisted its head, its flame-filled eyes blazing with rage. No sound carried across the vacuum to Lin Mu's ears. Yet Lin Mu needed no audio. The fury etched across the demon general's face told him everything. Lin Mu's reply was another air blast. Boom. This strike hit the demon general's left shoulder, knocking it flying once more. It crashed into a cluster of broken solar panels, sending fragments spraying everywhere. Curse you. The demon general dragged itself free of the wreckage, its burning eyes burning with rage and bitter disbelief. Never had it suffered such humiliation. Within the void demon civilization, it was a revered general, admired by countless warriors. It had fought in 2 civilization tournaments and slain countless champions from rival species. But never had an enemy pushed it this far. It had burned its life essence, draining decades of its future vitality, only to be completely outmatched by this Earth, human. Why? How dare a mere Earth human do this to it? Grimacing, the demon general launched itself like a projectile toward a tall, protruding signal tower. Its only thought now was escape. It had to survive. It could not die here. Fast as it was, Lin Mu was faster. Several more air blasts came from behind. Though not all landed cleanly, they detonated close by, shattering hull-mounted structures the demon general needed for handholds. The demon general reached for a floating sheet of shrapnel, but before its fingers made contact, another blast turned the metal plate into dust. With nothing left to grab onto, the demon general began drifting helplessly deeper into space. No. The demon general flailed its limbs wildly in the vacuum, scrambling for anything it could hold. But there was nothing, only endless darkness and cold starlight. Lin Mu stood atop a raised section of the station's hull, gazing down at the demon general adrift in open space. He raised his right palm, aiming straight at him. Within his palm, another air blast began to gather, its pale, blue glow growing brighter and brighter. Staring at that swelling ball of light in Lin Mu's hand, the demon general's red eyes registered genuine terror for the first time. It knew full well that its current state could not block this blast. Most of its crimson-red armor had shattered. Its energy core within the chest was growing unstable from burning its life essence, and the vacuum environment kept draining its stamina. This shot would kill it. Wait, human from Earth. The demon general opened its mouth, roaring soundlessly. It gesticulated frantically, trying to convey its message. It wanted to live. It was willing to pay any price for a chance to survive. But Lin Mu gave it no chance. The air cannon fired. The pale, blue energy projectile traced a glaring, luminous trail through vacuum, striking the demon general dead center in the chest. The 2-meter-tall body of the demon general tumbled several times in space from the impact. The chest armor finally fractured completely, huge fragments peeling off to reveal dark, red muscle underneath. Yet it was still alive. Its eyes burning with blood, red flames remained locked firmly on Lin Mu, locked on the Earth human who had brought it to this ruin. Its gaze brimmed with hatred, deep-rooted hatred. It is useless. The demon general's voice dissolved silently in space, but it forced out every last word with its remaining strength. Sound could not travel through vacuum, yet the train game recorded its voice and relayed it to the live stream broadcast. Even among humankind, there are strong warriors such as you. But human civilization simply lacks depth. Having only joined the train game recently, you cannot fathom what true power looks like. You cannot win. You will lose this civilization war in the end. Even if you alone are powerful, you cannot alter the fate of your entire civilization. You too will be erased. I will be waiting for you. A crack split the corner of the demon general's mouth, forming a twisted grin. Then its chest energy core shattered entirely. Dark, red light exploded outward from its body, blooming into a silent firework amid outer space. The demon general's 2-meter-tall form tore apart in the radiance. Debris drifted off in every direction and soon vanished into the boundless darkness. Only silence remained. Lin Mu stood on the outer wall of the space station, gazing toward where the demon general's wreckage had dispersed, and fell silent for a moment. Then he retracted his palm, preparing to head back inside the space station. Inside the live stream chat, bullet comments erupted at this very moment. It's dead. The demon general is dead. Lin Mu wins. Lin Mu is awesome. Lin Mu is awesome. Lin Mu is awesome. That was a demon general. One of the top powerhouses of the demon void civilization. Taken down just like that by Lin Mu. Did everyone hear what the demon general said at the end? He said humanity lacks depth, and we will lose the civilization war? Nonsense. Hold back the insults. What the demon general said is not entirely without merit. The Demon Void civilization has taken part in multiple civilization contests. Their accumulated resources far exceed ours. True, Lin Mu defeating one demon general does not mean Earth can defeat the whole Demon Void civilization. Their foundations run far deeper than ours. Never mind all that. Lin Mu is incredible, and our team is incredible. Right, we win one fight at a time. As long as our team keeps winning, sooner or later we will prevail in this civilization war. Inside the habitat pod, everyone from the Alliance team stared intently at the live stream projection. When the demon general's body tore apart in space, every single person let out a long breath of relief. Zhao Xingli was so overcome by release that he plopped onto the floor. His rock-like skin faded away, revealing scar-covered flesh beneath. We won. Zhao Xingli's voice was hoarse, yet his excitement was unmistakable. Captain Lin won. He really killed that demon general. Thank goodness, thank goodness. In the power module corridor, cheers nearly shook the ceiling loose. I knew it. I just knew Senior would win. Chen Lu jumped up from the observation window, her twin tails bouncing along with her. Hopping about in the corridor like an overjoyed rabbit, the hem of her pleated skirt fluttered up and down with her movements. Teacher won. Sister Sue, did you see that? Senior defeated that monster. He defeated it. I saw it. When Wantong reached out and ruffled Chen Lu's hair, unable to suppress the upward curve of her lips. She had kept reassuring Chen Lu that Lin Mu would not take reckless risks, but only now, watching the demon general truly perish, did the heavy weight in her heart lift. He won. Su Qingli also wore a rare smile. Captain Lin is truly amazing. Admiration filled Zhao Jiejia's face. Chasing down a demon general in vacuum and defeating it. That level of combat power completely surpasses everything I thought possible. I wish we had a captain like that too. Zhao Tongtong mumbled beside her, her high ponytail swaying with envy. Tongtong. Zhao Jiejia shot her younger sister a sharp glance. I was just saying. Zhao Tongtong shrank her neck, yet the envious glint in her eyes identical to her sister's would not fade. Chen Lu kept hopping in place, repeating over and over that her senior was the best and most powerful, eager for the whole world to know how formidable he was. Right then, dull thuds echoed from the direction of the isolation door. Boom, boom, boom. The sound resembled something extremely heavy slamming against metal. Each impact sent faint tremors rippling through the entire corridor. Chen Lu stopped jumping and spun toward the isolation door. What is that noise? The glow of excitement in Chen Lu's eyes turned to vigilance. When Wantong's smile vanished instantly, she hurried to the observation window and peered outside. Her pupils suddenly constricted. This is bad. Beyond the window lay an intersection. The isolation door leading back the way they had come, toward the docking bay corridor, was warping and deforming violently. The intersection area was now a vacuum. Sound could not travel through empty space, but vibrations from the blows conducted through the metal framework. Bulges the size of fists kept bulging outward across the heavy metal door, as if something was pounding wildly from the opposite side. Anchor bolts around the frame popped out one after another. Gaps widened between door and frame. What is that? Tremor colored Zhao Tongtong's voice. She instinctively grabbed her older sister's sleeve. Boom. Another massive crash. The isolation door burst open. The heavy metal panel tore free of its frame, tumbled soundlessly through vacuum, and slammed into the opposite wall, shaking the whole surface. Countless black creatures poured through the broken doorway. They resembled octopuses, pitch black, each roughly basketball-sized, with 7 or 8 long thin tentacles trailing behind. Fine suckers covered the tips of every tentacle, each one rippling as if greedily seeking something to draw upon. Despite the vacuum environment, these octopus-like creatures moved without hindrance. Their tentacles clung to walls, ceilings, floors, even floating debris. Every ripple of their limbs propelled them forward in sharp bursts. There were so many they made one's scalp prickle. A black flood streamed continuously out of the docking bay corridor, quickly covering floors and walls across the intersection. They crawled and writhed silently through vacuum, spreading outward in multiple directions. Then they split into several swarms. One surge headed for the main control center. Another flowed toward the habitat pod. A third was advancing straight for the power module. Chen Lu's eyes went wide. This is terrible. They are coming for us. If they break through our isolation door, we cannot survive exposure to vacuum. Thud. The first octopus slammed against the power module isolation door, striking the metal panel with a dull, heavy impact. Then a second, a third, dozens, hundreds more arrived. Wave after wave piled against the door. Tentacles slapped repeatedly across its surface. Suckers latched tight onto the metal and began pulling. The isolation door groaned under overwhelming stress. Move. When Wantong acted without hesitation, grabbing Zhao Judge's wrist and dragging her deeper into the power module. Go, go, go. Chen Lu scooped Zhao Tongtong up. Before Zhao Tongtong could react, Chen Lu was sprinting deep into the power module, carrying her like a gust of wind. Hey, hey, hey. Slow down a little. Zhao Tongtong's high ponytail whipped in the rush of movement. Slow down, and you will get caught by those creatures. Do you want that to happen? Chen Lu called back without turning her head, increasing her pace instead. The group fled farther into the power module. Behind them, the isolation door shuddered under the octopus swarm's assault, fine crack spider, webbing across its surface. Lu Jia, do we really need to run this fast? We have already passed 2 isolation doors. Held tight against Chen Lu's hip, Zhao Tongtong's head jostled with every stride, her high ponytail flicking back and forth, her voice shaking. You have no idea. Those octopuses can survive vacuum. How long will a few doors hold them? Slow down, and you will get grabbed by them. Chen Lu shouted without looking back. Zhao Tongtong pictured the scene and shuddered, hugging Chen Lu's waist tightly. No, 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 I don't want that. Run faster, Lu Jia. That's more like it. Chen Lu huffed in satisfaction and pushed her speed even higher. Strip lighting along the corridor blurred into streaks as they raced. Cabin, markers on metal walls flashed past at the edge of vision. The thunder of impacts against the doors behind them had faded, yet Chen Lu showed no sign of slowing. Meanwhile, in the corridor near the habitat pod, members of the Alliance team were also running for their lives. Sun Jack led the way. Though his injuries made his steps unsteady, his shadow stealth skills still granted bursts of acceleration. Every few steps he vanished in a shadow, pulling far ahead in an instant. Damn it, that coward Sun Jack sure can run. Zhao Xingli cursed while sprinting, his rough hand hauling the lagging Fanya forward. Fanya glanced backward as she ran. Fine cracks spread across the isolation door battered by octopuses. Her face paled further. Brother Zhao, that door won't hold much longer. Fanya gasped between heavy breaths. Don't stop. Keep running. There should be another isolation door ahead. Lu Wen shouted, his silver-rimmed glasses askew on his nose, forgotten. Sun Jack had already reached the next isolation door deep in the corridor. He halted and glanced back. Dozens of meters behind, the rest of the Alliance team sprinted desperately toward him. A cold smirk tugged Sun Jack's lips. He lifted his hand and pressed the wall, mounted close button. Sun Jack, what are you doing? Lu Wen's expression turned grave. He activated Swift Step, shooting forward like a blurred streak toward the door. But the isolation door had already begun descending. It moved at moderate speed, yet every centimeter it dropped shrank the group's chance for survival. I knew Sun Jack would pull something like this. That guy never changes. Trying to get teammates killed again. How can he play internal politics when octopuses are right outside? What if he gets stranded alone? Sun Jack, teammates can die first, I'm escaping. How has this man survived this long? Only by betraying allies. Section 17 users are blowing up the forums. They say if he makes it back alive, they will eat their words. Sun Jack's luck really is ridiculous. Octopuses are practically at his doorstep, and he still schemes against others. Sun Jack paid no more attention to the others. He turned and fled deeper down the corridor. Hurry! Dash through! Zhao Xingli roared, chest heaving, dragging Fanya forward with every ounce of strength. Lu Wen reached the front. Boosted by Swift Step, wind whistled in his ears. Only 3 meters separated him from the narrowing gap. Zhao Xingli hoisted Fanya onto his shoulders. The 40-something-year-old man unleashed tremendous power, taking huge strides forward. The remaining Alliance team members gritted their teeth and sprinted. Lu Wen darted through first. Next came Zhao Xingli carrying Fanya. One after another the rest followed. The instant the last team member tumbled through the gap, the isolation door slammed shut. Almost simultaneously, a heavy crash echoed from behind. The octopus swarm had broken through the intersection, side door, and flooded into the corridor. The Alliance team stared at the still, vibrating door, then looked at one another's battered forms. Fanya slid down from Zhao Xingli's shoulders, her face pale. We made it through. We made it. Zhao Xingli sat heavily on the ground, gasping for air. Don't rest yet. If they broke one door, they can break this one too. Keep running. Sun Jack went in ahead. He will definitely try closing the next door on us. Lu Wen panted, gaze fixed toward the far end of the corridor. The Alliance team exchanged glances, gritted their teeth, and rose once more to chase after Sun Jack. The corridor widened ahead. Large observation windows lined the walls. Through cracked glass, starlight from outer space glimmered. Soon a massive metal door blocked the corridor's end. Faint markings remained on its signplate, Habitat Pod, and it was sealed shut. Zhao Xingli reached it first. He pushed hard against the heavy metal plate. It would not budge. It won't open. Locked. That bastard Sun Jack must have done this. Anger and urgency sharpened Zhao Xingli's voice. Lu Wen hurried over and scanned the wall beside the door, spotting an embedded password panel. There is a keypad here. It looks like we need a password to open it. He pointed at the blinking numeric interface. A password? How are we supposed to know a password? Fangya stamped her feet anxiously, her voice trembling. Lu Wen pressed several keys and typed in simple combinations, yet only red error notifications flashed on the panel. No good. Without the password, this door will not open. The octopus swarm kept hammering the second isolation door. The metal groaned under the assault. That door will fail soon. Once it bursts, air will rush out. Even without the octopuses, we will die from vacuum exposure. Despair filled one male team member's tone. Zhao Xingli fell silent for 2 seconds, then smashed his fist hard against the door, producing a dull thud. Damn you, Sunjack. If I get out of here alive, I will make you pay. The giant door remained immovable, and the groaning of the second isolation door grew louder. Inside the habitat pod, Sunjack watched the frantic group outside through the observation pane, a cold smirk on his face. He could not hear their shouts, yet he could guess what Zhao Xingli was yelling. Shout all you want. When the creatures finish you off, you will stop shouting. He turned and walked deeper into the habitat pod, his back relaxed and indifferent. Outside the sealed door, the Alliance team stood trapped like caged beasts. Elsewhere, the heavy power module door slammed shut behind Chun Lu's group, muffling the octopus's pounding. Chun Lu bent over, hands on her knees, catching her breath. Her twin tails hung beside her cheeks, swaying with each inhale and exhale. Even with her extraordinary stamina, carrying Zhao Tongtong at a full sprint had left her winded. What even are those octopus-like things? How can they live in vacuum? Chun Lu straightened and stared back toward the thick metal door. They broke through the first isolation door, so they might breach the second as well. Still, the power module has far higher grade shielding than ordinary corridors. They should not catch up right away. When Wantong stepped beside her, her tone stayed gentle, yet she spoke faster than usual. How long is right away? Zhao Tongtong wriggled out from under Chun Lu's arm, rubbing her sore waist and asking quietly. No way to tell. Maybe a few minutes, maybe longer. But we cannot afford to gamble on waiting. When Wantong adjusted her glasses, scanning deeper down the corridor, a new wave of worry washed over Chun Lu. Wait, what about Senior? What if he runs straight into that swarm on his way back? Stay calm. Remember, he can watch our feed through the live, stream split screen. Trust his judgment. When Wantong set a reassuring hand on Chun Lu's shoulder. Captain Lin is so strong. Those octopuses stand no chance against him. Zhao Tongtong said firmly. She had witnessed Lin Mu defeat the demon general. To her mind, dealing with these octopuses would just mean firing a few more air cannon blasts. Tongtong is right. When Wantong gave her an approving smile. Yeah, just a bunch of weird octopuses. They can't beat Senior. I was over-worried. Chun Lu relaxed. Zhao Jieja said nothing. Her gaze drifted repeatedly toward the habitat pod direction, troubled. You were worried about the Alliance team? When Wantong noticed her unease first, Zhao Jieja nodded slightly. Will everyone be all right? Will Sun Jack cause more trouble? Zhao Tongtong tensed up again, her earlier relief fading. Pull up the live stream feed. Chun Lu suggested at once. Right? The live stream. We can watch it. Zhao Tongtong quickly tapped her personal panel, swiping across its glowing interface. In moments, the projection switched to the split camera feed showing the habitat pod area. On screen, the members of the Alliance team were trapped behind a heavy metal door. Zhao Xingli's face burned with rage. He slammed his fist against the door, shouting curses. Lu Wen squatted beside the door's control panel, his fingers flying across the numeric keypad, yet the panel kept glowing bright red. Fangya and several team members stood further back, their faces etched with dread. Brother Zhao and the others are locked outside the ecological module. Zhao Tongtong spotted her comrades at once, her voice sharp with alarm. That door needs a password. Brother Lu can't get it open. Zhao Jia's gaze lingered on the feed for a moment. The live stream bullet comments had exploded, dense lines of text nearly covering the entire screen. Sun Jack, you bastard. Did you sell out your teammates again? Serves you right getting swatted away by the demon general. You deserve to get torn apart by those octopuses. The Alliance team folks are having it rough. Threatened by Sun Jack earlier, now locked out by him. What did they ever do to deserve this? Sun Jack sure can run fast. Nobody wants a teammate like him. If I were on the Alliance team, the first thing I'd do after escaping is take Sun Jack down. Look at the second isolation door. It's deforming. Those octopuses are closing in. I knew it. I knew that guy would pull something. Sister, what do we do? Brother Zhao and the others are in real danger. Zhao Tongtong stamped her feet in fury. Tongtong, calm down. We're too far away from them, and those octopuses are between us. Right now, all we can do is trust them. Zhao Jia's voice was soft, yet a faint tremor lingered beneath it. Trust them, but... Zhao Tongtong tried to argue, but meeting her sister's eyes, she swallowed the rest of her words. Meanwhile, Chenlu had pulled up her panel to watch the live stream, her focus fixed on Lin Mu's split screen feed. On the screen, Lin Mu was moving swiftly along the space station's outer hull, not heading toward the intersection. That's strange. Senior should be heading back the way he came. Why is he going further out? Chenlu's eyes went wide. She tapped the light screen, as if urging the figure on screen to hurry toward her. In the footage, Lin Mu glided along the hull for some distance before coming to an abrupt halt. He found an access hatch, opened the airtight seal, and climbed back inside the space station. What place is that? Chenlu stared unblinkingly at the screen, speaking out loud. That direction leads deeper into the power compartment. Su Qingli said quietly, her tone certain. Deeper into the power compartment? Is he coming for us? Chenlu's eyes flew open. Yes. He must have seen our live stream split screen. He knows where we are, so he's trying to reach us directly. Su Qingli analyzed. Let's go meet him, Wan Wantong said at once. Chenlu nodded hard. Like a wound, upspring, her twin, tails whipped behind her as she sprinted deeper into the power compartment. Tong Tong, keep up. Zhao Jia grabbed her still stream, watching sister, and hurried after the others. Hey, wait for me. Lu Jia, don't drag me along this time. I can run on my own. Zhao Tongtong shouted as she ran, her high ponytail bouncing wildly down the dim corridor. Then pick up the pace. Fall behind, and you'll get cornered by octopuses. Chun Lu called over her shoulder, her voice echoing off the metal walls. I don't want to get cornered by octopuses. Zhao Tongtong gritted her teeth and pushed harder, managing to keep up. The group raced onward through the widening passages of the power compartment. Streaks of fragmented light blurred past them from the wall-mounted lamps as they ran. Faint humming drifted from overhead pipes, as though this city-sized space station was drawing its last labored breaths. Zhao Jia glanced backward while running. Behind them stretched an empty corridor, only their footsteps and heavy breathing reverberating through it. Outside the ecological module, the Alliance team could see bulges forming on the second isolation door. The octopuses slammed against it harder and harder, fresh cracks spreading across the thick metal plating. Brother Zhao, the door won't hold much longer. Fang Ye's voice shook, yet her gun stayed aimed steadily down the corridor. I know. Zhao Xingli stood at the front of the group. Rock, like skin spread over his arms and chest. He ignored Zhao Jia's earlier warning. Once the door gave way, vacuum would kill them all. Old injuries no longer mattered. Lu Wen remained crouched by the password panel, hammering frantically at the keys. Bloodshot eyes stared out from behind his glasses, sweat pouring down his forehead. Damn it. This panel runs on encrypted protocols. We can't open it without the authorization key. At last Lu Wen gave up, punching the wall beside the panel. Blood trickled from his knuckles, yet he paid it no mind. So we just wait to die? Zhao Xingli shot him a look. What other choice do we have? Lu Wen forced a bitter laugh. A shrill screech of tearing metal rang out. The second isolation door collapsed. Octopuses surged inward like a bursting black flood. Their tentacles scuttled across the walls, producing a creepy, rapid tapping sound. It's over. The door's broken. The octopuses are inside. Air will rush out. Vacuum will get them all. No. Is there anyone who can save the Alliance team? Is Sun Jack dead yet? I'd rather watch him get eaten than see these guys perish. Zhao Xingli's face turned ashen. He glanced upward toward the failing emergency lights overhead, then drew in a deep breath. We're finished, he muttered, barely audible even to himself. Where was the air? Why was there no draft? Wait. He could feel wind. Zhao Xingli drew another deep breath in shock. He could breathe. Air filled his lungs, solid and real. The air isn't leaking out. His eyes bulged, disbelief thick in his voice. Lu Wen caught on too. He tilted his head back like a rebooting machine, scanning his surroundings behind his lenses, then slammed a fist against the wall. It's the isolation system. The cracks have been sealed. The air leak is contained. Who sealed it? How? Fang Ye still trembled, though noticeably less than before. I don't know. Probably the space station's self-repair system. We saw it in the docking bay. Many facilities here maintain themselves automatically. When the outer hull is breached, the system seals off the damaged zone immediately. Lu Wen pushed his glasses higher, growing more confused. Why didn't it kick in sooner? Where was it when we were fighting the demon general? Zhao Xingli roared, color returning to his features. The hull was pierced repeatedly by Lin Mu and the demon general during the fight. The self-repair system couldn't keep up. Now that combat has stopped, it finally got a chance to seal the breaches. Lu Wen spoke rapidly, thinking through possibilities as he went. So we can actually breathe now? Zhao Xingli looked down the corridor, where hordes of black octopuses advanced toward them. Yes, we won't suffocate. Lu Wen nodded. Then what are we waiting for? Zhao Xingli grinned, slamming his fists together in front of his chest. As long as we aren't suffocating, everything else is manageable. Men, beat these slimy creatures back. His powerful shout echoed through the corridor outside the ecological module. Despair lifted from the Alliance team members, reigniting their resolve. Right? We've been running from them long enough. Time to hit back. Fangya gritted her teeth and drew a dagger from her waist. Fight! I've wanted to crush these octopuses this whole time. Another team member roared, raising his weapon once more. The octopuses closed in. Zhao Xingli charged forward first. Rock-formed arms swung, smashing the two leading octopuses into black pulp. That feels good, he bellowed, throwing another punch. Lu Wen twirled his dagger. Swift steps let him weave through the horde, his blade stabbing precisely into the octopus's soft underbodies. Yet there were far too many of them, their tentacles stretching long to snare anyone careless. Fangya and the rest formed a half-circle formation, covering one another with long and short-range weapons while slowly falling back. Don't scatter. Hold formation. Fight while retreating. Lu Wen shouted amid slashing strikes. It's a dead end behind us. Where can we retreat to? One team member panicked. Hold the line first. Something will turn up. Zhao Xingli roared. Bullet comments flooded the screen. No air loss thanks to self-repair. I really thought the Alliance team was goners. Breathing is the least of their worries. There are way too many octopuses. How long can they hold out? These things seem endless. Respect for Zhao Xingli charging to the front. I like this guy. Where's Lin Mu? According to the split screen, he didn't take the original path. Is he heading to meet the family team? Most likely. He can watch the live stream. He knows Lu Jie is in the power compartment, so he's heading that way. Deep within the power compartment, Chun Lu's group slowed their pace. This section differed greatly from the outer corridors. The space widened, overhead pipes multiplied, and rows of metal cabinets and massive machinery lined both sides. A faint ozone scent hung in the air. Occasional sparks crackled from exposed cables. Zhao Tongtong stayed in the center of the group. Her high ponytail swayed as she peered nervously about, her eyes identical to her sister's wide open, wary of every threat. Lu Jie, is Captain Lin really coming this way? This place is huge. Could we have taken a wrong turn? Zhao Tongtong whispered anxiously. No. The split screen shows this direction. Besides, Senior can see our position through the feed. If we go off course, he'll come find us. Chen Lu replied without turning back, utterly confident. Zhao Jia followed close behind. Her expression remained grim. She kept glancing between the live stream feed on her panel and the path ahead. Brother Zhao and the others should be all right now. Zhao Tongtong leaned over to look at the broadcast. No air is leaking, so they can fight. Brother Zhao is really strong. I see. We can only hope they hold on. Zhao Jia spoke softly. Those who knew her well understood that her quiet demeanor meant she was deeply troubled. His rock form won't go down that easily. Stop looking so glum. Instead of worrying about them, help me think about what I'm going to say when we meet Senior. Chen Lu spun around, chin tilted upward toward the sisters. Say what? Zhao Tongtong blinked. Praise how handsome he is, obviously. Chen Lu flicked her twin tails, completely matter of fact. Zhao Tongtong giggled. Tension in the group eased a little. Only Wan Wantong and Su Qingli stayed fully alert. Wan Wantong scanned their surroundings constantly, paying special attention to the active power equipment and pipelines. Su Qingli held her iron sword ready, tip angled toward the ground. Silver glints of blade glowed faintly in the dim lighting. Something is up ahead. Su Qingli halted abruptly, her voice barely loud enough for those beside her to hear. Everyone held their breath. Following her gaze, several octopuses clung to a huge active power facility not far ahead. These octopuses behaved differently from the ones chasing them. They lay unnaturally still, their bodies pressed tight against the metal surface. Tentacles coiled around exposed pipes and interfaces, suction cups dug deep into the hardware, much like black leeches feeding. They're draining energy, Wan Wantong whispered, eyes locked behind her lenses. Zhao Tongtong's mouth fell open. Zhao Jia reacted instantly, clamping a hand over her sister's mouth. Shoo! Zhao Jia held a finger to her lips and shook her head. Zhao Tongtong nodded vigorously, shock still written across her face. Chen Lu's skin crawled watching them. The octopus's bodies pulsed in rhythm with their feeding. Through semi-transparent skin, streams of faint blue energy flowed steadily out of the power facility and into their forms. I get it now, Chen Lu murmured, realization dawning on her face. What is it? Wan Wantong tilted her head toward her. Why did this space station fall? Could these creatures have drained all its power? Chen Lu grew excited, gesturing with her hands. Think about it. A space station needs energy to stay aloft. These octopuses latch onto power systems and drain it dry. Once energy runs out, the station starts plummeting. And the octopuses chasing us? Why are they so feral? Maybe once they suck an area dry with nothing left to feed on, they turn violent. Su Qingli added coldly, never taking her eyes off the feeding creatures. Exactly. That's what I meant. Chen Lu nodded violently. So stopping the station's fall may require clearing these energy-draining octopuses, Wan Wantong murmured thoughtfully, then glanced toward the dark writhing tentacles ahead and shook her head slightly. Still, I'd rather finish the mission to wipe out the demon, void civilization than deal with these things, Chen Lu muttered. Don't alarm them. Let's move past quickly, Su Qingli ordered. Holding their breaths, the group hugged the opposite wall, slipping carefully around the massive power unit. Chen Lu led the way, stepping as lightly as possible. Zhao Tongtong dared barely breathe. Her high ponytail hung limp behind her. A faint hissing noise echoed ahead. Chen Lu froze mid-step. Near another power unit off to their side, 7 or 8 octopuses peeled slowly off the metal hull. Their bodies were bloated, traces of faint blue energy still clinging to their tentacle suction cups. They had drained every last bit of energy from that machine. They twisted simultaneously, turning to face Chen Lu and her companions. Hiss! A sharp piercing shriek cut through the air. Their bodies contracted hard. Pushing off the floor with their tentacles, they launched themselves straight toward the group. We've been spotted. Run! Chen Lu shouted, yanking out her machete. She slashed at the nearest octopus. The creature was cut clean in mid-air. Black bodily fluid splattered everywhere. It was not fully dead, however. Severed tentacles thrashed wildly like stranded snakes. Fall back. Fight while retreating. Wan Wantong raised her right hand. A pulse of compressed air blasted forward, blowing a second octopus into a cloud of mist. Su Qingli swept her iron sword. A slash of sword chi sliced through 3 octopuses lunging toward the Zhao sisters. The group retreated fast down the narrow passage. Chen Lu cleared the path forward. Su Qingli and Wan Wantong provided cover on left and right. Zhao Jia shielded Zhao Tongtong close behind them. There are too many. We can't kill them all, Zhao Tongtong yelled as she ran, her voice bouncing off the tunnel walls. We have to fight anyway. And who said we need to kill all of them? Tactical retreat. Chen Lu hacked apart another charging octopus, correcting Zhao Tongtong mid-battle. Lu Jia, they feed on energy. Could they drain mental energy too? A thought struck Zhao Tongtong, her face draining of color. Don't even say that. Chen Lu snapped, yet quickened her pace. But what if it's true? They're getting closer. Panic edged into Zhao Tongtong's voice. I think she might be right. Zhao Jia cut in, keeping her composure. They are moving faster than before. They can probably sense energy signatures coming from us. Which makes finding Lin Mu all the more urgent. Wan Wantong glanced backward. A dense mass of octopuses surged after them, overlapping tentacles spreading like an expanding black net. Down the deep passages of the power compartment, hordes of octopuses poured onward. Tentacles hammered against metal walls in a maddening, rapid rhythm. Chen Lu suddenly skidded to a halt. Her eyes widened, fixed on the translucent player panel floating in front of her. Lu, keep running. They're catching up. Wan Wantong spun around, alarm raising her tone. Lu Jia, snap out of it. They're almost on you. Zhao Tongtong stamped her feet anxiously, her ponytail whipping back and forth. Teacher Wan, Sister Su, look at the panel. We're getting experience points. Chen Lu called out, excitement ringing in her voice. What? Experience points? Wan Wantong blinked and pulled up her own panel. Su Qingli reacted fastest, already switching her view to the experience settlement screen. Both saw it plainly. Throughout their running fight, they had slain numerous octopuses, and long lines of unsettled, experience notifications populated their interfaces. Right? Warriors of the demon, void civilization count as hostile trained players. Killing them grants no experience. But these octopuses are native monsters of this space station. Of course they drop experience. Wan Wantong realized. 10 points each. Chun Lu counted rapidly on her panel, growing brighter, eyed by the second. I've taken down over 20 of them. 200 plus points. All unsettled. Her excitement was impossible to hide. Without further hesitation, Chun Lu tapped the settle button. Settle experience points? Yes. Settling experience points bond effect. Critical substitute experience. Activated current bond target favorability. 67 critical multiplier range. 167. Random critical multiplier this settlement. 41. Fold base experience. 260 critical hit experience points. 10660 experience points. Split talent bearer, Lin Mu, gains. 5330 bonded target, Chun Lu, gains. 5330. Player level up LV point 23 LV point 24 level. Up reward. All stats plus 4 LV point 24 LV. 25 level. Up reward. All stats plus 4. A warm current surged from the soles of Chun Lu's feet straight to her forehead, and every joint across her body let out faint clicking sounds. Numbers on her status panel flickered. Current level, LV point 25 strength, 104112 agility, 96104 constitution, 1008 spirit, 6674 counting leftover overflow experience points. Chun Lu had leveled up twice in a row. Though thrilled, she kept her emotions from showing on her face. They were still live, streaming, and certain secrets must never be exposed. When Wantong's panel also flickered rapidly before stabilizing. Player level up LV point 20 LV point 21 level. Up reward. All stats plus 3 LV point 21 LV point 22 level. Up reward. All stats plus 4 current level. LV point 22. Strength. 5360 agility. 5562 constitution. 5461 spirit. 181188 when Wantong's random critical hit multiplier was lower than Chun Lu's, yet still hit 35-fold. The experience she received pushed her 2 levels higher without a hitch. My spirit stat is 188 now. When Wantong took a quiet, deep breath, feeling surging mental power, Su Qingli's gains were even more dramatic. Her starting level had only been 10, so she required far less experience to level up. After this round of rewards, system notifications chimed non-stop as if glitching. Player level up LV point 10 LV point 11 LV point 11 LV point 12 LV point 12 LV point 13 LV point 13 LV point 14 LV point 14 LV point 15 current level LV point 15. Strength 2438 agility 2539 constitution 2640 spirit 155169 5 consecutive level ups. Su Qingli closed her eyes. When she opened them again, the sword intent in her gaze felt far more condensed. Beside her, her iron sword hummed softly, its tone clearer and sharper than before. Level 15, spirit at 169. Su Qingli spoke in a low voice, audible only to Wen Wantong and Chun Lu. She was clearly mindful of the ongoing live broadcast. Lin Mu's critical hit talent was the family account's biggest secret, and it must never get out. Zhao Tongtong stared as the 3 girls stood there one after another, their auras visibly swelling. Her jaw dropped wide open. Sis. Zhao Tongtong tugged at Zhao Jiejia's sleeve, her voice brimming with shock. Zhao Jiejia's gaze swept back and forth across the 3 of them. Why have Lu, Jia, and the others stopped running and suddenly looked so confident? Zhao Tongtong blinked, thoroughly confused. I'm not sure. It must be some secret of theirs. Zhao Jiejia suspected part of the truth, but dared not speak of it. Her perception was sharp. Viewers watching the live stream could not tell, but standing right beside them, she could feel their power spike. Chun Lu turned around. To her eyes, those octopuses were nothing but walking experience points. Moments ago she had found these dark, slimy creatures disgusting and troublesome. Now each one looked like a treasure marked. Let's see you act tough now. Chun Lu slung her machete over her shoulder, fighting spirit blazing. Zhao Tongtong had barely processed how the 3 had halted their retreat when Chun Lu spun around and charged at the octopuses. Lu Jia, are you crazy? Those things can drain people. Zhao Tongtong stamped her feet in alarm. Crazy? I'm going hunting. That earlier retreat was tactical relocation. Now it's hunting time. Chun Lu did not look back. Her pleated skirt fluttered with her sprint, twin ponytails sweeping graceful arcs across her shoulders. The instant she crashed into the octopus swarm, her machete swung. Swish. One clean cut, sliced 3 octopuses. Chun Lu kept moving, swinging backward. Her blade scraped along the wall, shearing 2 clinging octopuses. 10 points for 1, 20 for 2, 30 for 3. Chun Lu muttered to herself, her strikes growing faster. Enraged by the onslaught, The octopuses let out high, pitched hisses, and more swarmed toward her. Chen Lu advanced instead of falling back, burning through machete after machete. Every strike bit deep into octopus flesh. Wen Wantong and Su Qingli rejoined the fight, right behind her. Positioned further back, Wen Wantong held her right hand shaped like a pistol, pointing with her index finger. Air bullets fired one after another. Each shot blew a black hole through the horde, the shockwave sending nearby octopuses tumbling. Lu, you're left. Wen Wantong's voice remained gentle, yet carried the crisp efficiency of someone on a battlefield. Chen Lu pushed off with her feet and dodged half a step right. An air bullet whistled past her shoulder and obliterated an octopus. Teacher Wen, your aim is amazing. You're the best. Mid-combat, Chen Lu found time to blow Wen Wantong a playful kiss. Su Qingli fought in a style all her own. Her sword swung with broad, forceful strokes, sword energy slicing wide swathes. She held position at the outermost edge of their group, acting like a white barrier holding the octopus horde at bay. Do not grow careless. There are far too many of them. Do not overcommit. Su Qingli warned between sword strikes. Got it, Sister Su. Once we beat this wave back, we'll keep retreating. Chen Lu replied. Another machete shattered in her hands. She pulled a fresh one straight from her backpack, her eyes glowing bright. Held back by her sister, Zhao Tongtong watched the three girls wreak havoc ahead, her mouth hanging wider. Sis. Zhao Tongtong's voice came out faintly. She tugged Zhao Jiejia's sleeve again. Zhao Jiejia's eyes stayed fixed firmly on the battle, unwilling to look away. How are they not exhausted? They ran so hard and fought for so long. Zhao Tongtong tilted her head, frowning. And haven't you noticed? Lu, Jie seems more energized the more she fights. Did they secretly eat something? Zhao Jiejia did not answer right away. A thoughtful glint passed through her soft eyes, confirming suspicions. Perhaps they are simply the kind of people who grow stronger in battle. Zhao Jiejia chose her words carefully. Really? That's way too extreme. My legs are wobbly, but they keep getting more fired up. Zhao Tongtong pouted. You don't train hard enough. Now you see the gap. Zhao Jiejia tapped her younger sister's forehead gently. I do train hard. I practice my lightning every single day. Indignant, Zhao Tongtong raised her hand to prove her point. Does your lightning work on octopuses? Zhao Jiejia smiled. Zhao Tongtong froze mid-gesture. She recalled her lightning had no effect on the magma giant. No. Fine, happy now. She dropped her hand dejectedly, cheeks puffed out. There you go. Watch closely how Lu, Jie, and the others fight. Someday you can grow strong too. Zhao Jiejia comforted her. Zhao Tongtong nodded vigorously, refocusing on the battlefield with a serious, learning-minded gaze. Meanwhile, in the livestream chat, comments flooded the screen filled with praise. Go Lu Jie. Go Fairy Su. Go Teacher One. 3 women holding their ground against a horde. This is the power of the family account. Total admiration. Teacher One is on fire. One-shot kills. Those air bullets are insanely powerful. Look at Lu Jie's swordplay, clean and sharp, pure hard. 1 combat experience. 1 strike per octopus. Fairy Su is even crazier. 1 sweep of her sword energy mows down crowds. That's not a sword. That's a sword energy turret. Honestly, I still don't know why Lu Jie calls her Teacher One. But whatever, shout Teacher One is awesome. Teacher One is awesome. Teacher One is awesome. Teacher One is awesome. Go Lu Jie. Go Fairy Su. Go Teacher One. Go family account. Wait, has anyone else noticed? They've been fighting forever and their movements haven't slowed at all. Incredible stamina. Probably the family account members max out their constitution stat. Next to them, I feel completely useless. I bet the top ranked team on our server wouldn't last a single minute against the family account. The gap between people is unreal. Quit hyping them. The octopuses aren't all dead yet. What if something dangerous happens? Why are you worrying? Don't you remember Lin Mu is on his way here? Right. Lin Mu. Once Lin Mu arrives, not one of these octopuses gets away. Comments scrolled by at high speed. While deep within the power cabin the battle raged on. Chen Lu could no longer count how many machetes she had broken. Her backpack stock dwindled visibly, yet she paid it no mind. Every time experience points settled, watching numbers flicker and critical hit pop ups filled her with delight. Experience points calculating current critical hit multiplier, 40-fold random base experience points, 200 critical hit experience points, 8,000 experience points split talent bearer, Lin Mu, gains. For 1,000 bonded target, Chen Lu, gains. For 1,000. Another warm current washed over her. Chen Lu could feel her stats climbing higher once more. She glanced down at her panel. She had risen from level 25 to 26, gaining +4 to all attributes. Current level, LV.26 strength, 1116 Agility, 1008 Constitution, 108112 Spirit, 7478. Senior must be leveling up too. Chen Lu mumbled low between strikes, unable to suppress a smile. Watching from the rear, Wen Wantong clearly saw Chen Lu's movements grow noticeably swifter after that level up. Her own level steadily climbed wave by wave, and her air bullets grew even more devastating. Lu, do not push too far forward. Fight while retreating. Wen Wantong gave timely warning. Roger that. Chen Lu agreed verbally without pausing her blade, felling 3 more octopuses. Su Qingli's sword strikes grew increasingly sharp. Though stat gains per level were modest, rising spirit power boosted her blows.